I'm Doug Brown. ESPN has learned LeBron James might be able to play for the Lakers in the last week of the regular season. James has been out for almost a month with a right foot injury. Zion Williamson of the Pelicans is now cleared for on-court activities, but he'll be out at least another 2 weeks with a strained right hamstring. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins believes the Pels should consider trading Williamson.
If I'm the Pelicans, at what point do I really sit down at the table and say, is this a guy that I could rely on for my future to have as my franchise superstar guy? And if you're not concerned, then you're lying to yourself.
Kendrick Perkins on Fitz and Harry. The Sweet 16 tips off tonight with doubleheaders in New York and Las Vegas. 11 different conferences represented in the Sweet 16 this time. The Big East and SEC each have 3 teams. ESPN's Jeff Borzello reports Kim English will be the new head coach at Providence. English coached George Mason for the last 2 seasons.
A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. So for parts that fit, head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat here each and every day. Also, subscribing to the channel helps out because then in your YouTube feed, you'll get all of our Draftmas content as the big day continues to get closer and closer, Jeremy. We got more pro day action today. Bryce Young throwing at Alabama's pro day today.
I do love how every single year we go through this. Well, they sent 11 guys, and Indianapolis only sent 1. Yeah, because they know they can't get C.J. Stroud. They know they can't get Bryce Young because those 2 are going 1-2. It's just a question of what order are they going in. We think we know. I heard it's bad when Adam Pac-Man Jones has to be the voice of reason on this.
What did he say today?
He's on the Pat McAfee show now, and he said every team in the top 10 was represented at my pro day. Every team, as you went down the draft order, sent less and less people because they didn't think I would be there.
Right.
That's what nobody seems to take into account. You only have so many staff members, you have to allocate them.
Of course.
So not everything
that's why
means something.
That's why, to me, the only count that might have meant something in all of this was the 11 guys that the Panthers sent to yesterday's Ohio State Pro Day with C.J. Stroud. I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, is there doubt that is the number 1 target for them?
The betting markets seem to think so, yes. That C.J. Stroud is the guy, and it's not really all that close.
They're still entertaining other options with the number 1 pick. Frank Reich and company, Josh McCown and others were at the Alabama Pro Day to see Bryce Young throw. But I think they want to go after C.J. Stroud.
I mean, that's more just due diligence than it is anything.
For the Panthers?
Yes. We would not be doing our jobs if we didn't go investigate Bryce Young.
No, and see, this is why I have completely dismissed all of this talk about they don't know what they're going to do. They got a pretty good idea. They know what they're going to do.
I've said that from Jump Street. If you gave up that much to get up to 1, and we'll figure it out. You're not good at this,
right? They have been saying there's 2 prospects that they like. C.J. Stroud seems to be the favorite here. I wonder how many representatives they'll send to Anthony Richardson's pro day.
It looked like Indianapolis.
I think Frank Reich is the only one that I've heard a report that he likes Anthony Richardson.
I'm sure he does. Everybody likes somebody. It's getting to a consensus in the room. And when you listen to the scouts, it's going to be either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, and I'd lend to C.J. Stroud.
Well, the draft is right around the corner. We got March Madness resuming tonight. It's time for the opening drive. And the opening drive always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Check them out at andersonnissan.com. Their showroom is at 629 Brevard Road. Go by and check out the stock that they have and the brand new cars that have just come in. Also, they're certified pre-owns, which is, the economical way to go, the more sensible way for cheap Tank Spencer to go. Jeremy, he loves the new stuff.
I am in a brand new 2023 Pro 4X Nissan Titan that is the most comfortable vehicle on the road. It has the heated steering wheel, the heated seats, all of the things that cater to my bougie self, and you can have all of these things as well by calling them and setting up your test drive. 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the formerly fat guys of the Sportsocracy sent you.
See, no matter what your taste, no matter what your needs, no matter how cheap you are, they can put you in something over at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Again, 629 Brevard Road. Mention that we sent you from the Sportsocracy, and they will give you a $250 bonus on top of your trade-in. March Madness resuming tonight. We got Jeremy's Bangers coming up at the end of the hour, so he'll give you the best bets of the night.
This is the better night to bet, lesser night to watch. It's not going to be as palatable to watch. There is one game that will be – well, actually, two of them will be really good.
I think –
and two of them will be really, really horror-awful.
So, Florida, Atlantic, and Tennessee.
Awful. That game will be over in 15 minutes. 5 minutes – you mark my words. 5 minutes ago in the first half, you'll be looking at this going, why again am I watching the second half?
And the other one is Kansas State, Michigan State?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Wildcats just roll.
Oh, I don't think they'll – no. That's not one of the ones I think is bad. That's one of the ones I think is good.
Okay.
You got that one and Gonzaga, UCLA, which I will need 14 Red Bulls just to stay awake.
No love for Arkansas, UConn.
No, because I have a funny feeling that you're going to see exactly which one of those teams is better than the other, and I'll tell you which one that is later in the hour.
Interesting. All right. Then we got that going on. We got Draftmas season right around the corner, so we'll continue with our position-by-position breakdowns of this 2023 NFL Draft Class. 4 o'clock hour. We did quarterbacks yesterday, so today we'll do running backs. Jeremy's top 13 in this class. We got the daily draft at the top of the top of the third hour of the program, as we'll be doing the same thing that we did with quarterbacks yesterday, looking at the running back prospects.
This is actually a better running back class than people think. It's really deep. You can get value deep into day three. There are two at the high side, and then there's a drop off a cliff, and probably 15 on the backside of that.
Yep. So we'll be ranking, or we'll be drafting the running back prospects of the last 6 classes, including this one.
So that means you have Saquon Barkley, you have Najee Harris, you have Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm. And there's your top 3 in no specific order.
Correct. It's just a question of what order do you take them in.
Right. All right, this is the Sportsocracy, and with the pro days continuing and the draft questions, the trade questions continuing to circulate around the NFL.
The Deandre Hopkins thing may get done during the show.
2.
Depends on who you talk to.
Okay.
I've heard the Buffalo Bills. I've heard the Carolina Panthers. I've heard the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. That's probably if you told me I had to bet an amount of money that mattered to me and I could have any 4 teams, it would be those 4.
Okay. I could see him being a big player with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you add him with Stephon Diggs.
See, to me, he's a hat on a hat. Because, all right, somebody has to play out of the slot, and I'm not real sure who that's going to be because I'm not giving up Gabriel Davis.
No.
So now I'm just that's the funniest part to me of watching receivers, because now we've got such a glut of receivers. Yes, there's a top 10 that these guys are just better than what your team has. but then you could probably go 40 deep past that. And it seems, and what got me thinking about this, now the Jets, I heard Jeff Darlington say he still believes the Jets are the favorite to land Odell Beckham Jr. Where exactly is he going to play? All right, we've already had to trade one receiver that I'm still just ragingly angry about.
Can he not take Denzel Mims' spot on the bench? Can we?
So what, we're going to pay him $5 million to sit there with a clipboard in his hand? Just how many receivers exactly do you need? Kansas City's looking at it going, we'll find 5 dudes that run 4.4s and have decent enough hands, and we'll be fine. Every other team, give us 5. We need to go 5 deep at receiver.
All right, so as it stands right now, who would your starters be?
Oh, Alan Lazard, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Mecole Hardman's your top 4. Then you got Denzel Mims as the 5.
I'm pretty sure that Odell
is not better than any of the first 3 I just said.
I don't feel like he would have a hard time finding playing time amongst that group. Really?
I think 3 of them are better than him right now. The Odell Beckham Jr. hunt is the most over-exaggerated talking point that I've heard all offseason. I mean, do you think he's got like a time machine and he's going back to 2015? Because he hasn't been good in large part for 7 years.
I mean, he was good in L.A.
He was
for the
decent
run,
in L.A.
for the Super Bowl.
He
run.
was a much better decoy than he was anything else. So I don't get it, but it seems like it just keeps rearing its ugly head. This is like Jonah Williams. I've talked enough smack about you that now my New York Jets are going to be a combination of players that I've thrown shade at for 10 years.
Right.
Oh, but we finally have a quarterback. Ugh. It's being a Jet fan in a nutshell. Hey, we finally got a quarterback, and you hate almost everybody else on the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, bury the lead here, but today you can mark it down on your calendars. March 23rd, 2023 is the day that Jeremy Greene finally believed that this was going to happen.
Oh, I still don't believe it until I see him wearing the hat. I was talking about the way this is going to go. I'm reading tea leaves, looking into the future. Ugh. See, this is the part of the offseason I get to every year, and I go, oh, it's overload. And now I'm so buried into the draft, and I catch all of these other little tidbits, and I just keep looking to the middle of May. That is when all of the things slow down, and we can be big, dumb animals for 3 months.
Right.
And not just hypothesize about all these stupid things.
No, then we get to hypothesize about rotations and playing time.
Oh, yeah, and that's
fantasy
fine.
stats and all of those things.
I also have to say one more thing here at the end of the first segment of this program. So a lot of you told me that I should watch Yellowstone.
Yes.
And that was great. All right, I'm caught up there, and I feel like I got caught up just in time for the show to die on the vine because Kevin Costner's not coming back or whatever's happening.
Right.
Before I watched that show, I asked all of you, how should I watch this? And there were a couple of you that said Yellowstone first. That was a pretty common theme.
Yes.
But there were some of you that said, yeah, well, you watch 1923 first. Okay. I watched the first episode of that last night. By the end of it, I was contemplating how much I really wanted to actually live because that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
The entire episode, I still don't know who anybody is. I don't know why any of you are on this screen because you didn't explain it to me.
Did you watch 1883 first?
No.
You have to watch 1883 first. It's chronological order, my man. Come on.
So it's chronological order of Yellowstone came out first, and now in chronological order, I have to go back to the first one. And
yes,
no,
this is how prequels work.
No, it's too much.
You can't
just give me Yellowstone. Stop with the other nonsense. Harrison Ford's the most overrated actor in the history of creation.
You shut your mouth.
You stop your Indiana Jones nonsense. You've never gotten me into one of those except Crystal Skull, which was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, of all of those
awful
to get into.
Awful. Just, okay.
Stop
Harrison Ford is weird.
He's weird.
I really want to know why Helen Mirren has an accent, and yet they're in Montana in 1923. I can't figure that out either.
I mean, they had immigrants back then. You do know that,
got
right?
that.
Like people immigrated from Europe. And
why is she the only one? All right,
she's the one that immigrated, and she married.
She's the only one in the town. She's the only one in the town.
He's the Dutton.
So stupid. Stupid. It's awful.
Jeremy's just thrown off by random people with accents.
And I'm not gonna lie. I did not feel great last night. I have no idea what happened to me after the show, but I had a fever. I felt awful. I turned this on. Amy and I watch it to, 5 minutes left in that first episode. And we just kind of looked at each other and went, am I the only one that thinks this is the stupidest thing I've ever put on this television? Nope. Right there with you. Banished. Never again.
Wow.
Ever. I'll never watch another segment. It was awful. Awful.
I don't know if I've ever disagreed with you about anything more.
If you told me right now I had to watch nothing but Sharknado, the whole quadrilogy or whatever it is, quadrology,
before 1923.
I would do that before I would watch another minute of 1923.
I told you. You have to watch 1883 first.
Out. Yep. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You didn't say it to me explicitly enough, so I guess I boo-boo kittied it, and now they're all dead to me.
Yellowstone.
Nope. Yellowstone's fine. Yellowstone's great. Bring me Kevin Costner. Stop piddling around with all these stupid year trilogies.
You got to go back.
Out.
You got to watch the original Trek with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott. It's got Sam Elliott in it. You have to watch it.
Nope. Out. Seacrest out.
Lord.
See, this is how Jeremy works. It's why I hate movies. Because you give me this, and as soon as I get bored with it, I'm done forever. And that is officially where I'm at with the Yellowstone year trilogies. Out. No.
Learn something new every day. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and apparently Jeremy Greene believes that Harrison Ford,
most overrated actor of all time.
Overrated actor.
I'll put it in the chat. You tell me who's more overrated than Harrison Ford. I'll cut through all of them. Frankly, you give me Brandon Fraser. No. He is a better actor than Harrison Ford.
Wow. No accounting for taste. This is the Sportsocracy, and you are here with us in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville.
Catch a big one.
Ingles.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Mom, Dad, let's talk. Before you know it, I'm out of here. I want to go to college. Or start a business. My allowance ain't gonna cut it. Ooh, sorry I said ain't.
The UNEST app puts smart investing tools right in the palm of your hand. And with the UNEST gifting link, friends and family can contribute to your child's account. Start investing today. Download the UNEST app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, But I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. And yeah, we, as I said before the break, you learn something new every day. And your hot take that Harrison Ford is the most overrated actor.
I've never liked anything I've ever seen him in.
I could argue, which is two things.
Oh no, I've seen him more than that. What was that awful movie he did there was another movie he did in the 90s that was I turned it off. So I asked in the chat, who is the most overrated actor? I saw a lot of Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like Tom Cruise, but all the Mission Impossibles were good. Top Gun was good.
Okay. But what do you? The question because, and this is what we're doing now. So,
100% is what we're doing now.
Just so you know, the question is, what makes him overrated? What do you classify as an overrated actor?
Name me a great movie he's ever been in.
Who?
All the Indiana Jones, it never got me.
The first
he's an archaeologist
Indiana
that's a
Jones
professor,
awesome.
and out. Seacrest out. No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, those are awesome movies.
And other than that, it's a lot of 6 Days, 7 Nights, and The Age of Adeline, and I'm looking at his film, The Fugitive. That was the one thing he ever did that I liked.
Yeah.
I did like The Fugitive.
It was great, man.
And I would argue that I liked that more for Tommy Lee Jones than I liked it for Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Clear and Present Danger, any of those?
Never seen it.
Good night.
Just every movie he's ever done, I look at and go, there's nothing there for me. Leonardo DiCaprio had this problem until he did Wolf of Wall Street. Like Titanic. Spoiler alert, I think I know how this ends.
You didn't know how it ended. You didn't know if they were going to end up together or not.
Yeah, I read the book. It's called a history book. Yeah, she goes.
We all know how this
she goes down. I have a feeling I know how this is going to end. So that's why I can't do historical things. I get railed on for you just don't like movies. It's such a time commitment. And I would argue probably 70% of the movies I've ever sat down and watched in my life were awful. I think I know where you were headed.
I was just waiting for you to drop the why not movies based on real life. Why not historical?
Because I know how it ends.
Yeah,
I read a history book.
Every crime series.
I don't know how that ends.
Oh, you got to Google it on your phone.
But then I don't find out all of the things. Then I don't know all of the. I've just learned I am a nonfiction guy, not a fiction, because so much like Indiana Jones is. All right, my name's on the door, so we can do this. You lose me at Harrison Ford as a badass. Like I can't believe that he's 800 years old. Okay, if he walked up to me right now, I could just go. Boop, and he'd fall over. I don't buy it. I don't buy it with Keanu Reeves. That's why I never liked John Wick. Mm-hmm. Just go down the there are like 4 people in Hollywood that I look at and go, you're legitimately a tough guy.
By the way, Keanu Reeves definitely higher on the overrated actor list than Harrison Ford.
Keanu Reeves, better actor than Harrison Ford.
Stop
I don't think it's really all that
You're
close.
An idiot.
I don't think it's all that
dumbest thing you've ever said.
The Matrix and John Wick. He has 2 better selling series than anything that
Stop that.
In terms
Star
of
Wars and Indiana Jones. End of story. Repeat the line.
Space bears and tough guy archaeologists.
Stop
You
that.
ever
Two
been
of
an
the greatest
archaeologist?
movie franchises of all time. Not saying that The Matrix isn't up there, but Jesus.
The Matrix and John Wick's pretty high, too.
The Matrix had one good movie.
I've
Prove
never
me
seen
wrong.
any of them. I've never seen any of them. This made $1 bajillion, so scoreboard.
Yeah.
And Star Wars gets the same million of you 47,000 times.
The only correct response that I have seen so far in the most overrated actors comments on YouTube, the only correct one I've seen so far is Ben Affleck. Horrible.
Ben Affleck always looks like he plays a character that it was the living embodiment of my brain. Like somebody that's just out smoking a heater behind a building, just going, what have I done with my life? How did we get here?
It's one of your favorite memes, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, every time I have a little break and a moment to myself, I feel like all I'm missing of becoming that meme is a camera.
I mean, I just have to ask the question. I mean, has Ben Affleck ever been in anything, portrayed anything in a movie that, quote, unquote, moved you? Obviously, I'm not talking to you, Jeremy, because you don't watch movies. But
he was an awful Batman, so I can tell you that.
Right.
I can get Affleck's
I've been racking my brain trying to think of the pivotal performance of his career.
That's Good Will Hunting.
He wasn't even good in that. Like, I mean, he was okay. I mean, that was a Matt Damon movie that Ben Affleck just kind of tagged along with.
Secret Time, that's Ben Affleck's entire career. I'm friends with Matt Damon, and he's awesome.
Not
and
really.
I don't do much.
He's done quite a few solo movies without Matt Damon, and every one of them I watch and I go.
The Town, by the way.
Right.
That's the
Town was good.
Armchair.
The robbery movie about Fenway Park. Yeah, that
movie
good.
was phenomenal. Now I think
that was a good movie.
It was also good in Pearl Harbor, which I've also seen. Yeah. You just didn't like
he
that
wasn't
because
he wasn't the best
like
one in that movie.
You didn't like that movie because the theme song was done by Aerosmith.
No, I don't. Was it? No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, that was Armageddon.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Ben Affleck movie
Same
where I
movie.
went, I will never be able to see Steven Tyler the same way.
Same movie. Pearl Harbor and Armageddon are the exact same movie. You just put it in a different setting, okay? Things are going bad, and there's some bad things happening, and one of them was just real life, and one of them was on a spaceship.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now we've got a lot of Nicolas Cages. There you go. Somebody finally got another right answer.
Is Nicolas Cage overrated, though?
100%.
But don't you have to be rated to be overrated?
No.
When was the last time you saw a movie and gone, I have to see that? It's got Nick Cage in it.
If you have an IMDb that has 87 films on it, that means you keep getting work for very little talent.
Nicholas Con Air.
I
was very
thought
good.
one of the best movies he would ever do was that new movie that came out where he played himself, and he goes to visit like some drug kingpin. I got 20 minutes into that movie and went, okay, this is not good.
I just love how as time goes on, Nick Cage looks more crazy than he did the time before.
Mm-hmm.
And now he also has one face, and it's just his teeth are always exposed and his eyebrows never move.
They never did to begin with.
It looks like somebody took his face and went, he was actually face off. They faced offed him, but they put his face back on his own body.
They put his face on his own face.
Somebody said Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson is not overrated. Alex says.
Liam
Neeson's not overrated. He just plays one character. It's the same character in every movie.
That to me, that kind of makes you overrated.
I have a particular set of skills.
Will Ferrell has more depth than Liam Neeson.
I can't disagree. I mean, Will Ferrell is the songbird of our generation, so I can't disagree with you in any way.
And he plays the same character in every movie.
And it's fine.
And he makes a lot of money.
I'm okay with you playing the
that.
same character. You just have to do one that's good. I'm watching Harrison Ford last night in 1923, and he's got this. It's almost. All right, you've seen the whole series, correct?
Yes.
You've seen the whole series in 1923.
Yes.
To me, it's almost like Harrison Ford watched Kevin Costner and went, wow, that guy's good. Let me try to imitate that at 80. I'm a bad man, and you don't want to mess with me. Fibromyalgia messes with you, okay? You can't eat complex carbohydrates.
Your arthritis is acting up today because it's cloudy outside.
Go
away, Grandpa.
I was about to say, if there's rain coming, I'm not really scared of you.
You should be. An old guy with horses and guns and a lot of cowboys? That's terrifying.
And at 80 years old, he might forget which holster he put his gun in.
That's why he sends everyone
Harrison
else
Ford
to do
just
it.
goes, draw, and he pulls out a banana. It's like, oh, yeah, that's for my arthritis.
Well, back in the day, you would have been really scared of my phaser gun.
Ugh. Star Wars, most overrated franchise of all time.
Stop that.
Ooh, we got space bears and a gold trash can. And
if Stephen Tao has a hit list, you just wound up on it.
Star Wars is nothing but a space bear, a living Emmy, and a space trash can. That's it. That's the whole set. I just explained it, and it's Fozzie Bear. Oh, yeah, he shows up and goes every once in a while. There's your movie. I explained. If you've never seen Star Wars, I just gave it to you.
You've just seen all of them. Every one of them. Alex says Harrison Ford's better than Clint Eastwood. You stop that right now. That's blasphemy.
You know what's funny? Right now, if Harrison Ford and Clint Eastwood got into a fight, I'm taking Clint Eastwood. No doubt.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood's 147 years old. Stephen Tao is excommunicating us.
He's canceled the Patreon.
He's
done.
To kill it all.
He's just done. He's pulling out.
I didn't just tell him anything he didn't already know about me.
Kevin Vick, he's out as well. Like, see, we're losing fans by the second because Jeremy's being ill towards space vacuums.
Hey, we added a lot from the Cleveland Browns yesterday. So,
Satisfied Browns fan says Johnny Depp. I can't agree with that on any level.
I want to disagree with it. I don't think I actually have a. I don't think I have a take there.
That he's neither over. He's just rated. He's not overrated or
underrated.
underrated.
I think he's just
rated.
Right.
He's just
he was
right.
really good in Pirates of the Caribbean, which I had no interest in.
Mm-hmm.
And I still watched it because he was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Now Edward Scissorhands,
Secret
that was
Window.
stupid.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I mean, Edward Scissorhands was dumb, but it led to one of the great drinking games of all time. Edward 40 Hands, let's go.
Yeah.
Reigning, defending champion of the world.
It's not one of his best movies. I wouldn't recommend Crybaby either. That's not really a great movie. Or The Lone Ranger. None of that.
Well,
everything else Johnny Depp's ever done, I feel like it rates.
And boys and girls, this is why we plan out a whole show, and then we wind up talking about movies for the first 20 minutes. That's what you get here in the Sportsocracy. And funny stories.
Yeah, speaking of Kevin Bacon, he was in town. Did you see this?
I did.
Yeah. He was in town, gave a donation to the Asheville Music Academy on Monday. It's a pretty cool story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why he was here, but everybody loves Asheville. Why not? You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clear tonight, winds will start to diminish with a low dropping to 53. A warming trend will carry over to Friday with sunshine and winds increasing out of the west and southwest. The high should hit 82. The showers will spread in late on Friday night with a low of 59. A windy and wet start to the weekend with showers and thunderstorms, especially early. The high should hit 75. Then wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, plenty of sunshine as the high temperature reaches 73 degrees. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The double steak grilled cheese burrito is now at Taco Bell. 2 servings of grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer inside, plus grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are two of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists all free. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there. It's hot.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Those of you following along on the YouTube channel, but we haven't flipped back yet because Jeremy's not here. I don't know where he's at, but there's big doings going on here at the radio station tomorrow morning, live on News Radio 570 WWNC. Cowboy John Rhodes is getting married live on the air, so they're trying to do all of the logistics and make sure that that's all going to happen tomorrow live as has been promised. So
by the time this show happens tomorrow, I may be not legally alive.
Jeremy's felt like crap
I
all day today.
I don't know what's happening with me, but I got home last night, and I felt a little weird by the time I left. I had a fever late last night, and I'm not talking about a cowbell fever, and then I was apparently just blazing this morning. So Amy gave me, take this to make you feel better. And it's gotten me to here, but the running around and
oh, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm ready to curl up in a ball.
We continue to get some good responses in the YouTube channel on the most overrated actors discussion. As Jeremy dropped the bomb, he said that he tried to watch 1923, but he didn't know anybody in it because he didn't watch the 1883 before. Not that really would have helped you, because I had the same issue with 1923 when I started watching it. Was I don't really know who these people are. All we know that is it's 40 years of the future of the Dutton family story. But you should have started with 1883. But saying that Harrison Ford is the most overrated actor on the planet, and it's not even close, sparked off the discussion. We've gotten quite a few responses here about, there's Will Ferrell has been mentioned several times as one of the most overrated actors of all time. Shia LaBeouf. I can get down with that.
Well, I mean, his claim to fame was Transformers.
Transformers was fun. One time.
Yep. And then we did it 4 more times.
Let's see. DNA Tooth Podcast says Jack Black is a top-tier comedian. Bad actor, though.
He's also a great singer.
He is a great singer.
If you've never heard him sing Wicked Game, you should look that up in the next break because it's phenomenal.
I don't feel like he's a horrible actor. He's just one of those that is very typecast.
Oh, yeah.
Into roles.
He's the somewhat fat, funny guy.
Yeah, he's the crazy, fat, funny guy. And that
like me.
character gets annoying. Jack Black does have some. He has more depth than that as an actor, though. We've had Kevin Bacon mentioned, who was in town, as I mentioned at the end of the last segment on Monday. Gave a nice donation to the Asheville Music Academy.
Oh, Gage Camplin has the right answer.
Pauly Shore and Rob Schneider. Those don't count as actors.
Yeah, no, they play a character that is the character they play in real life. Right. Gage Camplin has the right answer. It's Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
When you only can say one word and it's wow. You're okay. Stop that. He's awful.
Yeah. I think that might be the common ground that
Owen
we can
Wilson
all follow
might be
on.
the one that I can agree on.
Owen Wilson, no doubt. Maybe that'll be next year's Parched Madness bracket. But this year's we've got the greatest of all time professional wrestlers bracket,
and we will have those out on the socials, and we will be able to get all of the things. This is another one of those weeks where Jeremy overextended himself.
Yes, indeed. But
we also have one of these.
Okay.
Oh,
hit it.
I'm your huckleberry.
Armchair. I think we all can agree Kenny Powers is a legend. Danny McBride for the win. Bingo.
There you go.
My mulleted friend Danny McBride. That's bingo. Greatest actor of all time.
Yeah, not going that far, but let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Since we've been talking TV and movies and such, I guess we can keep talking about television for a little bit here because, well, it's time for HBO to make a decision on the 2023 Hard Knocks preseason team of the year. Now, there are many teams that can be on Hard Knocks. If a team was like, hey, I really want to be on Hard Knocks, then obviously that would be a negotiation that they could have with HBO and be on it. However, not many teams really volunteer to be on this list or to be a part of this. So did you know that the NFL has rules?
Yes.
On who cannot say, like you can't say no, basically?
Yes.
I did not know this. So apparently we have 4 teams in the NFL currently that if HBO says we want to do Hard Knocks, I guess they can't say no according to the deal that the NFL has signed with HBO and the producers of Hard Knocks. So since 2014, teams have been exempt from being the focus of that year's Hard Knocks season if they have a first-year head coach, have been a playoff team in the last 2 seasons, and if they've appeared on Hard Knocks in the last decade. There are 4 teams that do not fall under any of those provisions that would allow them to back out. Do you want to take a guess?
One of them is the Jets.
One of them is the Jets.
There's your answer.
And that's the number 1.
There's your answer.
No doubt. The Hard Knocks this year has to be with Aaron Rodgers, Captain Ayahuasca, learning the Big Apple.
Yeah, HBO. End the message. Repeat the line.
The others, though, they're not bad stories. The New Orleans Saints are one of them. You got Derek Carr in town. You're trying to build a winner here. I'm not saying it's the greatest of stories, but it's still it can make for an interesting training camp.
I mean, I'm not averse to it, but
the Washington Commanders, with the sale of the football team going on at the same time as you got Eric Bieniemy coming in.
To me, that would be I'm trying to get your wife or the people that don't watch sports. That, to me, would be the one that would be appealing there.
Which would be very appealing to HBO, I believe.
I see that they've done one of the things I have to commend HBO on is they have done a good job of really fixating on the football story and not the drama around. I mean, if the drama is on the field, then that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always given HBO its flowers for doing a good job of focusing on football stories.
Plus, I got to be a little selfish here. While having the Washington Commanders on Hard Knocks would be a great time to get, one pretty boy, Sam Howell, a little FaceTime with the national audience before he becomes the next great quarterback in the NFL. And then the 4th team is the Chicago Bears, which that story writes itself.
It does. I would say Chicago and the Jets are 1 and 2 there.
100%.
The Jets are the no doubt one.
I think maybe the executive producers of this show might be having a dogfight behind closed doors about which one of these teams are we going to make do it this year, but it's got to be New York.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Speaking of that, we have breaking news about the Jets that I will tell you after my Just a Bit Outside story. The NCAA tournament resumes tonight, and we've got 4 different regionals. Well, one of them is in Las Vegas, which it's funny to me that Las Vegas was considered the Sodom and Gomorrah to the NCAA, and now we're doing a regional there. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the teams playing in that regional is UConn. Something that a lot of people don't know is that the NCAA will deal with the accommodations when you're in a regional like this. So they did that for UConn, and they put them at the Luxor in Las Vegas.
Okay.
If you know anything of Vegas, it's a pretty well-known spot. It's also pretty well-known to not be the creme de la creme of places to stay in Las Vegas.
Okay.
UConn refused to stay there. They left because of the dirt, vomit, and worse that they found in their hotel rooms.
Oh, dear.
So they left and made their own high-level hotel accommodations nearby. Arkansas by 1,000. Every time I hear a team say something like this where you've had to uproot where you were going to stay or there was something weird happening in the hotel, virtually every time those teams get killed.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten to a hotel and just gone, no?
Once. Because I walked into the hotel and it literally looked like they had cleaned up a crime scene 3 days before.
That's funny. I have.
And it looked like you would have expected if there had been a chalk outline or a tape outline of a body in the middle of the room, you'd go, oh, that makes sense. Look, that dude got shot in the head. I don't know what that was.
I've had 2. Because as I've said on the show, I used to travel for a living. So I've seen some stuff when it comes to hotels. I stayed in one where, you know how they have the little piece between the carpet and like the bathroom? It's a thing that keeps the carpet down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one had been removed, and so I could see underneath the carpet. I don't know if there had been a homicide or if somebody had skint a deer in that shower.
Oh.
I'm not sure which one,
Gross.
but I called the one that booked for me and went, I don't care where else you send me, just not here.
Mm-hmm.
And from now on, I booked my own hotels, and that led to some fun tales for me.
Nice. Because you would book over your budget, is that what
Oh,
you're saying?
yeah. The next hotel I stayed in was $700 a night.
Oh,
it was
LMNO fired.
And when I expensed it, it was, you owe me this one. Because I stayed in the hotel where I'm pretty sure somebody got killed for 2 nights.
Right.
So you owe me this one.
So what? You got the presidential suite at the Westin?
Oh, it was a full spa. I had. It was wonderful.
Good for you.
It was wonderful. It's the only time I've ever had cucumber on my eyes. It was quite nice. I mean, I don't want anybody to touch me at a spa, but I'll sit in the hot tub.
I'm having a hard time at wrapping my head around the Jeremy Greene spa experience.
I'll sit in the hot tub with the little cucumber things on my eyes and a lovely mask. But now if anybody touches me, we're going to fight. Jeremy doesn't do massages. Get somewhere.
But you should.
No, I don't want some random person touching me. That's secret out. We have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is from Adam Schefter. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott has narrowed down his options of his next destination.
Okay.
Would you like to take a stab at who any of the 3 of them are?
Arizona Cardinals.
No. They're all 3 high-level contenders.
High-level
2 of the 3 have been in a Super Bowl in the last 2 years.
So like the Chiefs?
Nope.
The Bengals. Yeah. I don't feel like they're going to come after you. The Bills?
Nope. Hadn't been in the Super Bowl in the last 2 years.
Oh, that's right.
Who just played in the Super Bowl that's not
Philadelphia?
The and the New York Jets.
Please.
And he would like to make his decision about where to sign by the end of next week.
You can get Jonah Williams, Ezekiel Elliott, Odell Beckham Jr. Let's just bring them all in. You tempted the fates. You tempted God when you asked him for Baker Mayfield to end up in Tampa Bay, and now you have to get it tenfold. Isn't that what the good book says?
Well, it's worth it. It's
was
worth it for your quarterback to be Baker Mayfield. It's worth it.
Well, I feel like that is selfish of you.
I'm shocked that any of those three teams would want Ezekiel Elliott. I'm looking at the Jets going, they've already got three running backs, right? I mean, we didn't tender James Robinson, so he went away.
Mm-hmm.
But how many carries exactly are there for Ezekiel Elliott?
Not many.
The Eagles I vaguely get, and the Bengals, I guess I get a little bit. The Jets don't make any sense.
Coming up next here in the Sportsocracy, Jeremy's Bangers of the Night as March Madness returns for the Sweet 16. And at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, we'll have the top 13 running backs in the 2023 NFL draft class per ESPN Draft Nerd. When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You don't ride an elevator for the music, and you don't pick an airline for the movies. So when it comes to audio entertainment, it makes sense to choose Audible. It's the home for stories told by the biggest stars, like John Hamm, Kerry Washington, and Kevin Hart. It's home to epic adventures, chilling mysteries, and can't-miss comedies. Audible is the home of storytelling. Let your imagination soar with audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Start a free trial at audible.com.
Join us to celebrate the songs and artists you've loved over the past year.
At our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
Hosted by Lenny Kravitz.
With Innovator Award recipient Taylor Swift.
And performances by iHeart Icon Award recipient Pink, Coldplay, Kelly Clarkson, LL Cool J, Keith Urban, Pat Benatar, and Neil Giraldo, Lotto, Money Long, Cody Johnson, and more.
Watch on Fox and listen on iHeartRadio.
Monday night at 8 p.m.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
2-3 Wednesday. That makes me 5-5 against the spread for the week as we head back into college basketball with the Sweet 16 kicking off tonight. Thursday is the lesser night to watch, but provides better value in the books. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Kansas State's a 1.5-point dog tonight. Over under 138.5 against the Michigan State Spartans. This one's going to be fun. Completely different coaches in Jerome Tang and Tom Izzo, completely different styles, and one great big question. Is Michigan State the team I saw last week, or are they the team I've seen the rest of the year? The Spartans were one of the easiest teams in college basketball to figure out before last weekend. They'll never turn you over, and they're going to light it up from three. Then they play Marquette, couldn't hit water off a boat from three, forced a ton of turnovers, and smoked the Eagles. I don't think this is who that team is, and I'm going to take the resume on the whole instead of the most recent thing I've seen. Kansas State plays fast, it's a fun team to watch, and they have a lot of firepower that I think can handle Sparty. I look for this to be one of the best games of the tournament, and it will be close. Swing for me, I'm catching points with what I think's the better team. Give me the Cats, plus 1.5. They went outright, and I'm going aggressive on the over. Arkansas is a 4.5-point dog against UConn, over under 140. This is 2023 college basketball. There are 4 no-doubt NBA players in this game, and the story is going to be the coaches. Arkansas is the most talented team, but they've struggled to put it together all year long. I firmly believe the Hogs are closer to the team I thought they were going to be before the year started right now than they've been all year. They have too much talent to lose a game like this, in my humble opinion. I hope Eric Musselman, most ironic name in the history of college basketball, keeps his shirt on after this one, but I'm riding Hog Pig Suey. Razorbacks plus 4.5. They went outright over the 140. The Tennessee Volunteers are a 5-point favorite against the Florida Atlantic Owls. This is the easiest game of the weekend for me. I just saw Tennessee defensively shut down a potent Duke offense, and FAU ain't Duke. Tennessee's a team of monsters. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country, and the Owls are one of the smallest teams left in the tournament. They're deep. They play a lot of players, but it's not going to be enough against Tennessee. It's been the greatest year in the history of the program, but it ends tonight. Rocky Top -5. It's never in doubt, and Rick Barnes is 1 game short of the Final Four. Finally, UCLA is a 1-point favorite against Gonzaga. This is the game of the night, and I'm going to need 4 Red Bulls just to see the end of it. Can we stop with the 9:45 Eastern tip-offs in the tournament? That's a story for another day. These are 2 of the most veteran teams in college basketball, 2 great coaches, and this is a rematch of the best tournament game I've seen in a long time with many of the same pieces. I'm not sure what happened to the Zags defensively, but they are nowhere near as intimidating as they once were. UCLA is big, fast, and talented, and I think it's too much for the Zags. UCLA wins a track meet. I'm going over the 146. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clear tonight, winds will start to diminish with a low dropping to 53. A warming trend will carry over to Friday with sunshine and winds increasing out of the west and southwest. The high should hit 82. The showers will spread in late on Friday night with a low of 59. A windy and wet start to the weekend with showers and thunderstorms, especially early. The high should hit 75. Then wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, plenty of sunshine as the high temperature reaches 73 degrees. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's MVP's bonus days are back for pros. Right now, pros can shop savings on top brands, and Lowe's MVPs can earn bonus points on brands like DeWalt, Metabo HTP, and more. Start saving today.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
GB Shoe Warehouse on Tunnel Road in Asheville and in Hendersonville has slip-ins by Skechers, Hoka, Hey Dudes, Birkenstock, and tons of work boots. Shoes for the whole family. GB Shoe Warehouse. Happier from the feet up.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Lakers are 7-5 without LeBron James while he's been out with a right foot injury. ESPN has learned James might be back for the last few games of the regular season in April. With Austin Reeves playing well right now, how will the team use James? ESPN's Jay Williams.
You guys know the kind of lather, the kind of rhythm that you get when the ball's in your hand? You increase the amount of possessions, the volume of possessions. I feel way more comfortable with the rock now. When LeBron comes back, and Austin Reeves has been balling, D'Lo has been balling, right? But now you bring LeBron James back. Are you going to play LeBron James off the ball?
Jay Williams on Key J and Max. The Lakers right now are 10th in the West, but only a game and a half out of 6th. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports running back Ezekiel Elliott would like to play for the Eagles, Jets, or Bengals. Elliott hopes to make his decision by the end of next week. He was cut by the Cowboys last week. Braves closer Raisel Iglesias will start the season on the injured list with inflammation in his right shoulder.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, get your opinions in on each and every topic of the show, and throw us a topic. You never know when we're just going to pick it up and run with it. You never know when Jeremy's going to say something stupid like Harrison Ford's the most overrated actor of all time.
All time, not close.
And then we just run with it for a little while.
Owen Wilson. Wow. Only one that's even close.
It's the right answer.
Yeah, it's the only one that's even close. I mean, Harrison Ford's one. Owen Wilson's a decent two.
Oh, what is it? What is it with you?
Wow.
It is the Draftmas season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, oh, Draftmas tree.
We continue to count down the days to the NFL draft.
How lovely are thy prospects.
Flostradamus Jeremy Greene. At ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter, throwing out all his bangers all draft season long. Not sure that you're going to be able to find as spicy of a Vegas tip for this draft as you found last year.
Oh,
Trayvon Walker going number 1 overall.
I was about to say, you mean where I made somebody's house payment for a year because I told them to Trayvon Walker was going number 1?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have one of those this year. And with running backs, which is what we're talking about today,
right?
Here's the least spicy thing you'll ever hear in your life. My number 1 running back in this class is Bijan Robinson.
Shocker of shockers.
If you hear anybody say they have anybody else even in the ballpark, don't listen to another word they say. Because it's not close.
There couldn't be another one.
I mean, there's another. There are more good running backs in this class.
I'm not saying they're not. What I'm saying is anywhere close to Bijan Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the closest to me, and it is a chasm between the two.
Bijan's the only 3-down running back in this class. I have him as the number 1 player in this class, period. He just plays a devalued position. I mean, I've tried to find knocks on him. I don't have many. I mean, he's got 4.48 speed. That's probably the biggest knock I have is that, well, he doesn't run a 4.38. That's probably the most negative thing I could say about him. Didn't have elite offensive line play, so there were times that he was a little hesitant. Other than that, he is an absolute dog. I mean, it's just Saquon Barkley, and he's thicker than Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent pass catcher. True three-down running back. He's a good blocker.
He can do it all.
He can do it all. In the top of the next hour, we will draft the running backs of the last 5 classes and this one. And I have the number 1 pick, and I'll go ahead and tell you. I'll ruin the surprise. This is my number 1. It's over Saquon. It's over Najee Harris. And for me, it's not it's not that it's not close with Saquon.
I was going to say.
But he's a comfortable one. Okay. I struggle to figure out how he's not going to go in the top 10, even though he's a running back.
All right.
And if it wasn't for Leonard Fournette and Ezekiel Elliott and all these other guys that have basically been wastes of top 10 picks, he would be a no-doubter. I could see Arizona just saying, you know what? We're getting a guy. Wouldn't shock me in the least if they just said, you know what? We need a true weapon on offense because we're not going to have Kyler Murray. I would say his floor is probably Philadelphia at 10. Now, Philadelphia signs Ezekiel Elliott, then that makes me think there's probably less of a chance of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they're even a hard team to figure out what exactly are you going to do? Because at 10, virtually anybody's going to be a reach for what they need.
Well, there hasn't been a running back drafted inside the top 10 since Saquon Barkley went number 2 overall in 2018 to the New York Giants.
We should fix that this year. Now, there's a possibility that we won't.
Well, he won't make it much further past 10 if he makes it past that.
If he makes it past 10, it gets a little harder to figure out where he's going to land. Because then you get into teams that have massive needs, and I don't necessarily think anybody's going to trade up to get him. I've had him penciled into the Chargers as that's your drop dead spot at 21 forever.
Mm-hmm.
I just, as I've really dug into this class, I don't think you're going to make it that long. There are too many question marks about too many players. I know exactly what this kid is. He's going to come in and be a top 5 running back in the NFL immediately. Your fantasy drafts next year, take Bijan Robinson in the first round, depending on where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in Philadelphia, full speed ahead.
If he does not go in the top 10, and if Tennessee hangs on to Derrick Henry, because I could see that. If they got rid of Derrick Henry, maybe they would be swayed.
They're not getting rid of Derrick Henry.
Maybe they would be swayed to trade him or to draft him at 11.
They have too many needs to take a running back at 11. You just have too many. For me, it's Detroit. The teams in the top 10 that make at least vague sense to me are Arizona, Detroit, Philadelphia. If he falls past that, Detroit at 18 is probably his drop dead. And that's just a sheer luxury pick because of how good that roster is.
That's where a trade up will come into play. Somebody, if they're desperate enough, if they absolutely have to have Bijan Robinson, you have to get up to 15, 16, 17. Green Bay, Washington, Pittsburgh. One of those 3 teams, you got to get because you got to get in line before Detroit and Tampa. Because I feel certain that if he was on the board, Tampa would not pass him up.
I don't think I can agree with you. I don't think I can agree with you on Tampa. You have too many needs that are too pressing. Running back is what a good team can take because it's a luxury pick. Or a bad offensive team can take because I just have to have somebody that my offense can revolve around.
Or if I need to have a running game for my rookie-ish quarterback.
What rookie-ish are you talking about?
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask will not see the field this year.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you signed Baker Mayfield to back up Kyle Trask.
Yes, for $4 million.
Hoof beats. Zebras, horses. Tank looks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and sees a whole flock of zebras. I don't know what a group of zebras is. I'm assuming it's a herd.
It has to be a herd.
Is it a herd?
I would think it would be a herd, not a flock.
Sounds better with a flock.
Those are drones. Drones are in flocks.
Bingo.
That's the point, though. Bijan's going to make some team very happy.
Absolutely.
in this NFL draft.
Absolutely.
He is far and away the number one running back in this class. And he
build
leads
your offense around him.
Yep, and he leads off at ESPN Draft Nerd. Jeremy Greene's top 13 for the 2023 running back class. Then after that, is there much of a discussion at 2?
No, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, if Jahmyr Gibbs was 3 inches taller, he would be in the ballpark of Bijan. It would not surpass him, but he's real whittle. 5'9", a buck, 899, I think is what he came in.
5'9", that was the
5'9".
official. Wow.
5'9", and he's just like a shred over 5'9". So he is little. He's shockingly good between the tackles, as small as he is, and he is a ridiculously good receiver. I mean, this could be Austin Eckler 2.0, where you're lining him up in the slot because he is that good at catching the football. I think he's a great, talented player. I've said Carolina, that should be when you come on the clock in the second round, that should be the player you just have circled.
Mm-hmm.
If he's here, I'm doing it, and I don't care.
But is he also a guy who can run between the tackles?
Yes. He's a better runner between the tackles than Austin Eckler.
Okay. You use that analogy, so I had to ask the question because that's been your knock on Eckler, and rightfully so.
Oh, no
he's
doubt.
Not the between the tackles guy.
The knock on Gibbs is he is a god-awful pass blocker.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see him on the field, you know this is the Darren Sproles rule of, I know you're not picking anybody up. Because now you're playing 10 on 11. Because he will get mowed down by NFL linemen, linebackers, even some corners. I mean, that's how bad he is at doing this. So that's why I think he winds up in one of those Eckler roles where, yeah, you see him here, you know what he's doing, so I'm not even going to give you the misconception that he's going to stay in the block.
Right. So if he comes, if he does come to the Carolina Panthers and you see him on the field, you're probably going to see Tommy Tremble in front of him.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes plenty of sense.
Right. They could run it, they could throw it, but you're not having Jahmyr Gibbs hang in there to chip the linebacker.
It didn't have I was a little shocked his vert wasn't higher. He wasn't as freakishly athletic as I thought. He's just really, really, really fast.
Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't feel like he got he didn't get the attention at Georgia Tech that maybe
because
his
team
talent
was awful.
Well, I get it, but that maybe his talent deserved. And then he goes to Alabama, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about him. Oh, he could be a Heisman contender, blah, 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 blah.
And then they lose a couple games, and he gets overshadowed. Because he's not Derrick Henry. He's not Mark Ingram.
That's the only way you're getting any pub in the Alabama offense.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, is that if you give me Jahmyr Gibbs with somebody that is really good as a pass blocker and can run between the tackles, I'm in.
All right, Bijan Robinson 1, Jahmyr Gibbs 2, very spicy.
Oh, yeah, and guess what? My third, it's spicy too. It's Devin Achane, the running back at Texas A&M. Speaking of real fast, Devin Achane does that really, really well. 4.3, what do you run, a 4.32?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the fastest players in this draft class. I think he comes in immediately. He's another guy that's small, though. He's under 5'9". He's 5'8.5". So I don't necessarily think you're drafting him to be your bell cow, but I don't think we do that with many running backs now anyway.
No.
See, that's why running back's been so devalued, because you don't get many guys like Bijan that can come in and be a 3-down running back.
No, because it's so hard to do that. Teams have learned that there's really, in the last 7 years of the NFL, there's been pretty much just one running back that seems to have been able to get heavy tote and be indestructible, and that was Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And just a year, the last 2 years is when he's been dinged up and there have been question marks. Everybody runs a running back by committee scheme now.
The biggest knock for me on Achane is he's not as good of a receiver as I want him to be. I mean, he can do it. He's really going to have to refine the technique in the NFL. He's just a guy, I want to get the ball in his hands. He's a good runner. I actually think he can be a between-the-tackles runner, but he just never does it.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those players that you see these guys a lot, especially when they're really fast at running back. All he wants to do is bounce it outside because he knows if I can get the corner, I'm just going to outrun you. And it's not that he's averse to contact. It's just that's what he knows. He knows get to the corner and outrun people.
Mm-hmm.
But he's such a raw, physical freak of nature that I think he will be – I'll give you an example. The Tennessee Titans. You want to add a running back to pair with Derrick Henry that does things that he doesn't necessarily do, this is the guy.
Mm-hmm. His speed makes him a mismatch. That's the thing that I like about him at the next level, is if you're going to use him as a receiver, you better have an extra corner in there. You better have the safety.
Oh, because he will obliterate a linebacker.
Exactly. He is going to destroy your linebacker and just make him look silly running routes. And so, because from all of the experts that I trust, he's a hell of a route runner.
I'll tell you another stat about Devin Achane that blows my mind. 10% of the kicks that he fielded in college went to the house. 10%.
How many did he return?
50. I think he had 5.
Okay. It's
either 5 or 6. It's no lower than 5.
Right. That's a pretty good percentage. Okay.
Yes, he is a dynamic.
I was to say, what did he return 10 kicks and one time he got lucky?
No, I think he either had 5 or 6. I can't remember which one it is.
Right.
I'll look in the break.
Okay. Devin Achane, the running back out of Texas A&M, comes in at number 3 on Jeremy Greene's top 13 running backs for the 2023 NFL Draft. How about number 4 on this list? Several guys that could be in contention for this. We'll see where Flostradamus goes, because it only gets spicier from here as the gap between the talent gets smaller and smaller and smaller. This is the Sportsocracy, and you're listening on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, of course, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 26 westbound between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt for 50% off tax prep, but do it before April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max savings $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
On the free iHeartRadio app, you never pay to hear what you love, and you never wait to hear what you want. Save your money, save your time, and listen anywhere. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a lot of
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingles.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The top 13 running backs of the 2023 NFL Draft Class. Only Flostradamus brings you top 13s because he's the most superstitious man on the planet.
That's probably true. If there's somebody more, I would love to meet them because that person is completely out of their mind.
Top 3 running backs shouldn't be surprising in this class. Bijan Robinson out of Texas is number 1. Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama at 2. And then you got Texas A&M's Devin Achane coming in at 3. Amazing speedster. Who follows him at number 4?
Tyjae Spears, running back out of Tulane.
Ooh, I see. I knew there was going to be some spicy coming here.
Yeah, I mean, with me, there's wait till you see who's next. You think this one's spicy? Wait till you see the next one. I like this kid a lot, and a few years ago probably wouldn't have had him as high because he's another kid that's really little. Don't be surprised when you hear that of the 13 running backs we're going to rank here. Don't be surprised when you hear it out of 10 of them. That's just the way it works. This is the best open field runner in the draft. He is a kid that he can get to the edge. He can be caught and break the tackle better than any running back we're going to talk here.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, there is a real allure to that. He also doesn't have the big hole in his game. Several of these guys can't pass block to save their lives. I'm not telling you he's good at it. He's at least serviceable. And that's why I think if there is a second 3-down back in this class, it's Tyjae Spears. I don't think either of the two in front of him could ever be that. He could be.
As the 4th running back in this class, though, where should he be taken?
Back into the 2nd round.
Okay.
Beginning of the 3rd. I would say Bijan's top 10, 15, 20. Jahmyr Gibbs' first 10 picks in the 2nd round. Devin Achane will fall somewhere in the mid to late 2nd, and then Tyjae Spears should go late 2nd, early 3rd. And you'll just kind of roll that way with the rest of these. Tyjae Spears is almost as good of a receiver as Jahmyr Gibbs is.
When you see him in the NFL, do you picture him in a certain uniform?
Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, one of those teams that runs that true blocking scheme where I need you to make one cut.
The zone run, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A true zone run scheme, I think he can be a 3-down running back. Even though he's as little as he is. 5'10", 5'9", I think he's 5'9", 5'9.5", somewhere in there. 200 pounds. Not the strongest running back I've ever seen, but he's strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays meaner than when you see him in the hotel lobby, you probably don't think that guy right there is a vicious runner. But he is.
I always have this fear when I see it quoted now because you make such a big deal about it with running back prospects. When somebody's described as having a basketball player type build. I have seen that in 3 different scouting profiles of Tyjae Spears.
And I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree. There are a couple of these guys, namely one that's coming in 2 running backs that have that. I don't see that with him. That's the Kerryon Johnson rule of basketball player builds are always guys that tend to have injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that with him because I think his legs are bigger than what people make them out to be.
Mm-hmm. And as our former co-host in the Sports Tank on News Radio 570 WWNC long ago, Nay Brown would always say, basketball players are soft. That's why you don't want your football players looking like basketball players. All right, so not that big of a concern for Flostradamus with Tyjae Spears. I've heard a lot of buzz about him in this draft process, and it gets louder and louder every day as you see him landing here in the top 4 of Jeremy's running back rankings. At number 5,
Roschon Johnson, running back out of Texas.
Wow, okay.
My biggest belief with Roschon is I think you made a poor decision of where to play your college football. Because you sat behind a guy that made it look like you weren't as good as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've talked about little guys. Yeah, Roschon doesn't have that problem because he's a gigantic human being. 6 foot, 225, thick build. He doesn't have blinding speed, but 4.58 is not as slow as people make it out to be.
No.
It just looks bad by comparison. When you see A-Chain running the low 4.3s, Tyjae running in the low 4.4s. Now, I'll give you a point of comparison. Chase Brown, the 4.45, he's about half Roschon Johnson's size. So, and I like him. It's just Roschon's more my kind of running back. I want the big guy that I ask you to get 3 yards. You'll go get me 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And he will do that consistently. I could see him going in the back end of day 2.
He was one that always –
the Senior Bowl did him a lot of favors.
He was one that in the last 2 years I thought, why are you not transferring? Why are you not going somewhere else to be the star? We saw Jahmyr Gibbs do it, go from Georgia Tech, and then all of a sudden he's a Heisman candidate when he goes to Alabama. What was keeping Roschon Johnson?
Loyalty.
In Texas.
He loves Texas.
And there's something to be said for that.
There is.
There's absolutely something to be said for that.
Every person I know that sat in a room with Roschon Johnson has said he is as impressive of a kid as you'll ever talk to in your life. And he's good in space, shockingly enough, at the size he is.
Mm-hmm. Speedy power back.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the full package. Roschon Johnson, top 5 in this running back class. How about number 6?
Zach Evans, Ole Miss.
Okay, limited playing time.
He's a bit of a head case. He played let's see, how many places did he commit? He committed to Georgia at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He played at TCU, played at Ole Miss, committed to some Alabama. There's another one I think at the
Texas A&M, didn't
Texas A&M. Yeah, his recruitment was very strange. And he's a bit of a head case, but with the ball in his hands, he is terrifying. And this is a projection because I didn't see a ton of him over the 2 years that he legitimately played, and he played 2 different places. But the talent is very, very obvious. 5'11", 200 pounds. He didn't run, but I think he would have run somewhere in the neighborhood of low 4.4s.
Makes sense.
Might be even faster than that. He might have been in the high 4.3 range.
I feel like he would have been. I mean,
my projection on him was 4.42.
Right. This is another one of these, running back prospects that also was like a track star in high school. Zach Evans fell into that territory.
And I mean, he's a freakishly talented player. There is a lot of head case with him, though. Like it's what I just said about Roschon Johnson. People do not get the same feeling talking to Zach Evans. It's more, this is a very me first kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been happy anywhere that he ever was. Probably should not have come out in this class. Should have had another year at Ole Miss to give us another year of tape, and that was just a non-starter. Nope, I will go to the league. This is a kid that thinks he could have gone into the NFL as a senior in high school. Well, he's wrong, but he believes that.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more usage that young rookie running backs have to go through, and then they're all used up by the time their rookie contract is over. I'm starting to think maybe more should try to do that.
It's a horrible idea.
It's a horrible idea.
You know how stupid you think it was what I said about Harrison Ford? I'm in the same ballpark with what you just said.
What, the running back should try to come into the league earlier?
Yes. If there is one position that I genuinely need you to have all your grown-up boy pants on, it's running back.
Well, I'm not saying right out of high school. That's,
No.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was,
if you're a draftable running back, you should come out as a junior. That's the first opportunity you get to get in the draft, you should do it. But now I don't like the younger guys doing that. I want your body to be as developed as it's going to be.
No, I've never been on the Maurice Clarett.
Oh, no, I wasn't even talking about that.
We're out. Like I'm out on guys going earlier than the 3 years, but I'm getting into the league as soon as I possibly can, because I don't want any more tread on these tires than there has to be, because I want a chance to be able to not only earn the second contract, but also maybe live up to a little bit of it.
We've got one more, and I definitely want to do this before the break, solely because in our YouTube chat, somebody just brought this up, and it was Bill Buttigieg, resident New England Patriots fan.
Okay.
My number 7 is Tank Bigsby, running back out of Auburn.
Love the name.
Of course
Great guy. Great guy.
Yeah, of course you do. You know my feeling about grown men that go by nicknames.
I'd love to see you say that to his face.
Tanks? Well, I mean, you do realize next to me, he would look like a small child. He's 5'11", 210. I'm 6'5", 245. So
yeah, but
see, that works for
the
you.
Physique is a little different.
Oh, I mean, there's much more. I'm much more Pillsbury, and he's much more Tank.
100%.
He has really impressed me in the pre-draft process. I didn't have him this high. I had him in the back end of the top 13, and virtually every person in the industry I've talked to has mentioned him to me at some point, and it's made me revisit and use the Will Levis rule of he didn't have any talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
And look what he did in that competitive of a conference with virtually nothing around him.
Yeah.
There's not another draftable Auburn player offensively in this class.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's very hard to average 5.5 yards a carry in the SEC.
Mm-hmm. Now, do I think he's going to come into the league and be – he's got great balance. It's one of the things I love about his game. My fear is that I don't know that he will ever even be usable in the passing game. He's not a very good blocker. He's not a very good receiver. But he's another one. If you want 3 yards, he'll go get it for you. He will go get it for you. Wish he had run a little bit faster. 4.56 was that's one that I missed his 40 time by 0.08 of a second. And that is not common. So could have been a bad day. Who knows? But I think he will be a good player in the NFL for somebody.
All right, just over halfway through the top 13 running backs in the 2023 NFL draft class with at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene. You got a comment? Get it in the YouTube comment section. I don't know what I was looking for there.
I don't either. He's trying to use his big bullet words.
Maybe. I don't know. It's all this tech stuff. I'm like, is that a chat room? Do we still call them that? No, we don't. Those went out with Yahoo, right?
Yes.
ASL. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
You're in the
We need a shirt that says that. Might need to get on that.
In the Sportsocracy, this is ESPN Asheville. We will continue with the top 13 running backs of the 2023 NFL draft class coming up after the break, as well as get a little weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clear tonight, winds will start to diminish with a low dropping to 53. A warming trend will carry over to Friday with sunshine and winds increasing out of the west and southwest. The high should hit 82. The showers will spread in late on Friday night with a low of 59. A windy and wet start to the weekend with showers and thunderstorms, especially early. The high should hit 75. Then wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, plenty of sunshine as the high temperature reaches 73 degrees. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Stardust Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road moving well. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Planning for an upcoming trip? It's important to know that updated COVID-19 boosters are currently available at no cost to you. Remember that immunity could take time to build. Check eligibility and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It's going to be about one of just a few things for me when it comes to the weird stories, and animals always trip my trigger, especially, first off, I got to say, T's and P's to the family of this young man, because the day started out pretty rough for Pennsylvania police the other day when they received a 911 call from a young man's roommate. Called 911 to report that his 23-year-old roommate was unresponsive. When first responders got to the scene, cops and ambulance and such, the man was already dead. Now, the day got rougher for the cops after that, because what they had to take out of this guy's house. After they found the guy dead, they removed hundreds of reptiles from inside the home, including a count of nearly 100 venomous snakes, including 2 black mambas. First, I have the question of a 23-year-old man. Like, what are you doing? Why? How do you have this much money to have this many venomous reptiles around? The second question I have is, how did you die?
I mean, zebras, horses.
One's brain would go that way. Cops say, no, that's not the case. The coroner says he was not bitten by one of the venomous snakes that was taken out of this home. Among the venomous snakes, they also left at the home about 100 other non-venomous snakes. So this guy had his own, reptile farm inside this random house in Pennsylvania. Also, they took a lizard out of the house and a crocodile. You got a crocodile? You're just raising a crocodile in some bathtub in Pennsylvania.
You know, the most important message of the day is always don't do crimes. And I feel like we need to audible that. So don't do snakes.
Don't do snakes.
My story is from Stockton, California. It's about a tow truck driver. His name was Eliu Canales. He had a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And it was highlighting bad drivers in Stockton, California. So here's what he would do. He's a tow truck driver, so he drove around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he would get all of these ridiculously up-close videos of car crashes.
Mm-hmm.
We would upload them to his YouTube channel, and it was Bad Drivers of Stockton. Well, over the course of time, investigators began to get curious as to how this man had so many close-up videos of car crashes.
Mm-hmm.
They then realized that he had filed 54 insurance claims and had been in 22 motor vehicle accidents in the last 4 years.
So he's out causing the accident.
Exactly. So what he would do is he would hide in the blind spot of certain kinds of cars because they couldn't see him. As they would go to make a lane change, he would either speed up or drive into them. And in the state of California, whoever comes over the center line is at fault.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he paid for two tow trucks by filing insurance claims on his old jalopy tow truck.
Wow.
And it took them 5 years to figure it out.
You'd think after the first couple of times, you'd go, wait a minute, this has got to be the most unlucky guy on the planet.
But the state of California did get some retribution when they charged him, because they charged him with 54 counts of insurance fraud.
Ooh.
Reckless driving. Here's the bad one. Assault with a deadly vehicle.
No.
Because every one of those, they deemed, after they reviewed it, he caused them. Causing car wrecks is assault with a deadly vehicle.
Absolutely.
He's going to do a whole mess of times in jail. Hey, maybe he'll find some dum-dum in for contempt of court that'll help him break out. Don't do crimes. Don't do crimes.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We continue here with the top 13 running backs, as named by at ESPN draft nerd Jeremy Greene, here in the Sportsocracy, top 13 running backs of the 2023 NFL Draft. We've gone through the first 7. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devin Achane. Those were the top 3. Then he's got a couple of surprises. I expected these guys to be on the list, but not so high. At number 4, Tajay Spears from Tulane. Roschon Johnson, the other running back from Texas, which, I mean, he's like the Arn Anderson of this draft class. Like, he's always
the enforcer.
Right, but he was always behind Ric Flair, a.k.a. Bijan Robinson. Zach Evans, Mr. Transfer himself, at number 6. And then Tank Bigsby, greatest name in the NFL draft, not close, at number 7.
And you're not biased in any way.
Nope. At number 8.
Dwayne McBride, UAB.
This is Danny's brother?
No. This is the stereotypical thumper power back that I have always really liked. He's just kind of difficult to evaluate because he virtually never run out of a traditional set. UAB played a lot of shotgun, played a lot of pistol. So I've never actually seen him at a normal depth for a running back. So I'm not really sure how he's going to translate in the league. My projection is that it's very well, because he did well at things that I'm not so sure he was really cut out to do.
Like
he didn't
what?
fit the system all that well, but he was really, really good. But he's also he's kind of like a rock rolling downhill. Once he gains some momentum, he's really difficult to bring down. It also takes him a minute to get to that point because acceleration is not really his biggest. If he had run the 40, I feel like his 10-yard split would look like a defensive tackle.
And then the finishing time
but then once he gets
close
to that top speed, oh boy, that's not going to be fun to bring down.
Yep. Okay. I know you hate player comps, but I just saw this one on him, and I got to throw it out there for you. Tyler Algier.
Oh, no, I hate that one a lot.
You hate that one?
Oh, I hate that one a lot. Yeah, I hate that one a lot.
You don't even see that.
I hate player comps because 9 times out of 10 they're like that. Hey, I got a running back that's the same size. They don't play in any way the same way, but they're the same height, weight, and speed. Okay, so that means my player comp would be Jason Witten.
Number 9.
This is one that a lot of people are probably shocked that I haven't said by now, that I'm not as sold on him as anybody else is. Zach Charbonnet, running back, UCLA.
Mm-hmm. What is it you don't like about Zach?
I think he's fine. He's got good size. I look back to, all right, so if you take him out of this funky little Chip Kelly offense, I never saw that guy. I never saw that guy at Michigan. I feel like he was in a gimmicky offense in a terrible conference defensively, and that's where everybody started losing their mind about him. I don't think he's particularly fast in terms of high-end speed. I think he's more track fast than he is on-field fast. Never makes anybody miss. Couldn't catch a cold if you soaked his head in water and put him in a freezer. And he's not a good pass blocker. Yes, he does a really good job of running between the tackles. So do 4 guys that I've talked about before him, and that's all they do. Mm-hmm. And they do it better than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not all they do. It's all he does, and they do it better than he does. So I hear people lose their minds about him, and I see mediocre NFL running back written all over him. Now, in the right system, where Kansas City, somewhere like that, where I do spread people out, and now it's just hat on a hat, and he gets exactly what's blocked for him. And so if what's blocked for him is really good, then yeah, he could look better than what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If he winds up with a team that doesn't do that particularly well, then he's going to be a 3.8 yard a carry guy. And so I don't see it the way other people do.
What's your prognostication on his draft window?
Day 3. I think he'll go sometime in day 3. Every running back from here on out is in that.
Day 3.
Yes.
So somewhere 5th,
4th. I would say he probably goes in the 4th. I think he's going to get overdrafted because the people that love him, they absolutely love him.
Right.
I don't really get why, but Trevor Sikkema from PFF thinks he's the 3rd best running back in this class. I think he hit domestic lights really aggressively when he was watching this tape. But,
right.
I've been wrong before.
Okay. All right, Zach Charbonnet.
Not much on running backs, but I've been wrong before.
Zach Charbonnet from UCLA. Also, he was at Michigan for the first 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, first 2 years of his college career, then transferred to UCLA. Put up big numbers in the Pac-12, but doesn't everyone?
Oh, yeah, because nobody plays any defense.
At number 10.
This is a guy that if there was more tread on the tires, I would probably like him better than I do. Israel Abanikanda, running back out of Pittsburgh. He's got a lot of carries on him. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 in this section that they both fall into that of. They got a lot of carries on them. Now, they're all talent. I think he's a top 5 running back in this class. I just don't know that you're going to get more than the rookie deal out of him because he could be out of the league in 4 years because you could go through injury issues. Now, I like him a lot. It offers you nothing as a pass blocker.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a better pass blocker than he is.
Thank you.
But now you catch him on a screen pass, which is about the only way you can catch the ball, he can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as physical as I would like him to be because he's not – I mean, he's thick, but he's not real big, 5'10", 215. You would expect that guy to be a really physical, violent runner. He's not. He's not, and he can only – in the passing game, if he's the receiver, I could probably draw a chalk outline on the field of this is where he's going to catch this. Because anywhere else, and it could go real, real, real bad.
He does have some breakaway speed, though. Once he gets into the open field, he can make defenses look silly. I liked him at Pittsburgh. I thought he was a really great ACC running back.
He was a very talented running back on a mediocre team in a bad conference.
But I don't know that translates to the next level.
Yeah, my fear with him is what exactly would he have done in the Big Ten? Because I'm not sure it would have gone quite as well for him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Israel Abanikanda at number 10.
Abanikanda.
Huh?
Abanikanda.
Mm-hmm. At number 11.
Kendre Miller, running back out of TCU. I'm not going to lie, I didn't have him in the top 13 originally, and I had to go back and watch some tape on him, and it could all be the scheme. But he did some things I really liked this year. I'm just not really sure what you do in the league. I mean, I think you'll be fine as a between the tackles runner. Never special or anything like that. He is thickly built, 5'11", 215. He's not particularly fast. I think he's in the high 4.5s. But he's another one like Abanaconda. I see him and Abanaconda in very, very similarly. I've seen higher upside out of Abanaconda than I have out of Kendre Miller. Another one that if it's a catch and run spot, he can hurt you badly. He just doesn't do. He doesn't have the route tree that, say, a Bijan or a Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody like that. And I think that's his role in the league. I'm just not sure that it's not kind of a limited role. But he's a talented player.
Number 12.
This guy, I wish he was in a much bigger body than he is, because he is the definition of a little feller. Deuce Vaughn, Kansas State.
Oh, mini-me.
He is 5'5". 5'5". He is the same height as Muggsy Bogues. But, man, he does a lot with that little teeny tiny frame.
He also plays on the basketball team, doesn't he?
Deuce?
Oh, no, that's another teeny tiny guy. Noel that plays for the Kansas State basketball team.
Yes.
He looks like Deuce Vaughn out there. Like he did against Kentucky when they had old Oscar Tshiebwe guarding him during the second round game. But yeah, Deuce Vaughn, he's another pretty good, solid, tiny Kansas State player.
Yeah, Darren Sproles. To me, they remind me of each other, to be really honest with you, because they're better rushers than you would think. As little as they are, they just get below pad level, and they can absolutely hurt you. In the NFL, he will not be as good of a pass blocker as he was at Kansas State, because they love doing that, running a little delay block where he would get up under a pad and then. In the NFL, that's LMNO flattened, and I don't think you're going to be able to do that. But he certainly has a role. For whatever reason, and maybe it's the Darren Sproles comp, I just can't help but think he ends up in Philadelphia somehow. I can't help it, because I'm looking at that offense going, you make players that wouldn't necessarily be NFL players anywhere else, and you make them successful. Philadelphia does that better than anybody. And if you get creative with him, it could go really, really well.
All right, so we're down to our last selection here in the NFL draft, the 2023 top 13 running backs by Flostradamus Jeremy Greene. And there's gonna be some names that don't get said here that I'll be shocked at, because there's several still on the board. So who's the final in the top 13?
Muhammad Ibrahim, running back out of Minnesota.
All right. You said there was another one with a lot of tread on the tires, and I figured that's the one you were talking about.
If he had, and it's 500 less carries at Minnesota, I'm not sure he'll last in the league more than 2 years. There's nobody that has more carries on him than this kid does. Last game at Minnesota, I think he carried the ball 44 times. And he's just a gamer. And I love this kid. I want to have him higher. I want to have him on my team. In their bowl game, and I can't remember who they were playing against or what bowl it was. Completely meaningless. Means nothing to anybody. And everybody in my position, their big knock on him is the wear and tear on his body. He's going back in the fourth quarter because he wants more carries. That tells me everything I need to know about you.
Nope.
I'm just afraid your body's going to let you down at some point.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. When we come back, who didn't make the list and why, as we continue to talk about the top running backs of the 2023 NFL draft class.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 on the westbound side slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound around Bavard Road, delays. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, heavy backups. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with savings on select business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Plus save on select monitors and accessories and get free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
It never dawned on me how much walking I used to do until I bought a house in the suburbs. Like when I'd say, I'm going for coffee, of course I was walking, but now it's like 3 miles and no latte's worth that. I find myself inviting people on walks with me like it's a scheduled activity. This morning, my neighbor asked me what I'm doing, and I actually said, I'm going for a walk with Nancy.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and Jeremy's top 13 in the books. A couple of running backs that did not get mentioned in the top 13. First name, obviously selfish, but name's on the door, so I'm going to say it. Kenny McIntosh from Georgia.
Yeah, he had a lot of drops when you really pay attention to him when it was he's a good receiving back, but the ball has to be directly in the breadbasket. He got exposed to the Senior Bowl a little bit. He would have been my 15 for what it's worth.
Okay. Sean Tucker racked up a lot of yards at Syracuse.
His is tread on the tires, size, and I don't really know what role you fill in the NFL. He's just a rotational back to me. Mm-hmm. He would have been somewhere in the top 20. Chase Brown from Illinois is in the same boat.
Same boat. Okay. I guess the only other one would be Chris Rodriguez from Kentucky.
Yeah, he's a weird offense, small guy. It's kind of in the same boat as Sean Tucker. I'm just not really sure what you do in the NFL.
So all these guys could very well be seventh-round picks to UDFAs?
Yes. And they could be priority guys, and you never know. They could carve out a role in the league.
We will continue the running back discussion up after the Sports Center update. It's daily draft time. We'll be picking the best draft prospects at running back over the last 6 NFL draft classes.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Later tonight, winds will start to diminish with a low dropping to 53. A warming trend will carry over to Friday with sunshine and winds increasing out of the west and southwest. The high should hit 82. The showers will spread in late on Friday night with a low of 59. A windy and wet start to the weekend with showers and thunderstorms, especially early. The high should hit 75. Then wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, plenty of sunshine as the high temperature reaches 73 degrees. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 on the westbound side slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound around Bavard Road, delays. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, heavy backups. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville. This week only at Mattress Warehouse, save up to 60%. And rest assured you got the best mattress at the best possible price with 0% interest financing. Because where are you more likely to find the perfect mattress? At a little mattress store or at a Mattress Warehouse? At Denny's, the all-day value menu is served hot, fresh, and delicious starting at $5.99. Celebrate with their new 70th anniversary pancakes. Or have breakfast for lunch with the Everyday Value Slam for only $5.99. Craving a value menu that doesn't sacrifice great flavor? At Denny's, it's diner time.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Should very much consider Odell Beckham Jr. still on the table as an option for the New York Jets. In fact, we can go even further to say that both sides would still like to see this done. Financials still in the way of actually finalizing this thing, but I still think that Odell Beckham Jr. will wind up with the New York Jets.
Jeff Darlington on Get Up. ESPN's Todd Archer reports Cowboys running back Tony Pollard signs his franchise tag contract for almost $10.1 million. Phillies first baseman Rhys Hoskins carted off the field today during a Grapefruit League game against the Tigers after an apparent non-contact injury to his left knee. Hoskins will have tests. There's no official diagnosis yet.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you have it, take problems up.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy, or welcome back into the Sportsocracy. If you're just joining us, welcome for the first time into the program today, live from the Ingles Studio, as always, here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere around the world on the iHeart Radio app. You can see us everywhere as well on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It's daily draft time here at the top of the third hour of the program, and we'll continue the discussion with running backs, running back prospects. Like we did yesterday, we gave you the top 13 quarterbacks in this draft class, and then Jeremy and I drafted against each other to come up with the best class of quarterbacks that we could out of the last 6 classes. So including this year, going all the way back to the 2018 draft. This is where you would draft them based on their college production, their college tape, their combines, all of that. This is not hindsight is 2020. We should have drafted Jonathan Taylor number 1 overall, and none of that.
Now, I will say, Tank is going to take Jonathan Taylor way too early.
100%.
Because he was drunk on him.
Mm-hmm. Not even the first running back off the board in his own draft class, and he was a number 1 in my heart since 2 weeks in to his Nebraska career.
Can you name the 2 running backs that were taken ahead of him?
Ooh, Deandre, right?
That is correct.
Deandre Swift.
6 spots ahead of him.
And
one that I made fun of.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
That's the one.
Yeah. Dumb. Both decisions absolutely dumb.
I'll go ahead and tell you, that last name he just said will not be making an appearance here.
No, sir. It will not. Apparently, the camera was left on the YouTube feed, and I've been asked, first off, Chauncey, I know I'm short. Thank you.
He is short.
Thank you for that.
Very.
I was also asked, what did I get at Hardee's? Well, that was the Frisco burger. If you see me with a Hardee's cup in my hand, chances are I've had sourdough, bacon, cheese, and burger, because that's, to me, the best fast food burger out there.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but it's not the best.
To me, it is.
Now that I've learned you can get a Big Mac with quarter-pounder patties, that changed Earth.
Oh, yeah. Just say like a Mac when you go through the
apparently there's a lot of ways to get them to do that. But, yeah, I had my first one, and I went, oh, that's dangerous. That right there is bad for the old ticker.
So, yeah, that was today's lunch. Anyhow, it is time for the daily draft. Top running back prospects. How would they be drafted if they're all in the same class from the last 6 classes dating back to 2018? Jeremy, you've got the number 1 overall pick. You already told us earlier in the program that you are taking
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson out of Texas. He is the best running back prospect since
Saquon Barkley.
Well, you're taking him over him, so you got to go back further.
That's the only one worth even talking about. Best running back prospect since
LaDainian?
That's Darren McFadden is the one I was thinking of.
Okay. I hadn't thought about that name in a while, but yeah.
It didn't go as well as you want. Oh, I was drunk on Darren McFadden. That was before I started doing this. Yeah, it's probably the right answer. He's probably the best, who, by the way, McFadden went 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say he's the best prospect since Darren McFadden.
Okay. All right. Bijan Robinson at number 1 overall. I thought I was going to miss out by having the second pick here, but I don't. It's Saquon Barkley. And I'm not going to say it's not close because it is close. But
no doubt.
Bijan is a very close 2 to me. I don't get the same vibes from Bijan that I did with Saquon. And I don't know, maybe it's because I've been desensitized over the last few years to really quality running back play.
That's exactly what it is.
Right. I mean, you get used to seeing superstar ability when you see it more often. And Saquon was just one of those that was, to me, he was a can't miss. And unfortunately, injuries have made his NFL tenure a little spotty. But when he's on the field, he's still one of the best running backs in the NFL. And you didn't really get to see that due to injury and to the fact that he just had zero talent around him. Shocker of shockers, last year's a bounce-back year after they get him some protection, after they get him some running lanes to go through. It's weird how much coaching and a new set of eyes that's not David Gettleman on the decision-making process to go, oh, this is the kid that we thought we were getting when we drafted him number 2 overall. I still look back on that decision and go, that was the only decision that you had.
I never understood how they took Saquon Barkley over Sam Darnold. Never understood it. You need a quarterback. There are quarterbacks here.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And do you think that they're upset that they didn't get Sam Darnold? No.
Oh, well, I can't.
Josh Allen, that's another story. But again, that's a hindsight's 2020 thing.
Well, I mean, even then, I couldn't figure out how you need a quarterback and you're taking a running back over. You're telling me you don't like any of these guys? Okay. Not so sure I get that. But
no, because
and then you wound up with Daniel Jones.
Right. No, because to me, they were smart about Baker and Sam I never got it with Sam. I just didn't.
Oh, I didn't. I still get it with Sam.
Yeah, we know you do. We know you do. And then Josh was unknown. So I understood why they took him at 2. So Saquon Barkley is easily the 2 in this. I think he's the 1, so I feel like I got a value there. At number 3, it's Najee Harris. Those are the top 3 of the last 6 classes, and I don't think it's really debatable.
Oh, Najee was not my 3, just so you know.
Really?
No. And it's total hindsight's 2020 that you're saying that. Because there are 2 more that are no doubt. In terms of
Najee's NFL career has not been anything to write home about.
No. I think you're forgetting how highly we thought of 2 different running backs.
Okay, maybe I am. I
mean, they both went in the top 5, and Najee Harris went at 22? Yeah, that really...
Both went in the top 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
All right, look, I like Najee Harris. I feel like Derrick Henry did him a lot of service. And look, I think he's going to be fantastic in this league. We're not deep into his career. I did not see him as that kind of prospect. I never did. He fell into that. Okay, there were 2 more running backs in that class that I had evaluated almost exactly the same numerical value
as Najee.
Yes.
Okay.
The 2 I had in that class was 1/10 of a point behind him. So I had them very, very close. I cannot say the same, and I'm going to take these both together because neither one of them is going exactly the way you wanted it to, but we thought of them much higher. It's Leonard Fournette and Ezekiel Elliott. They both went in the top 5 for a reason. Leonard Fournette was the number 1 player on boards across the industry.
Yeah, but he doesn't qualify because he was in 2017's class. You're going back too far.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah. Saquon is the last class.
Oh, I did go back too.
When you said top 5, I was like, no, there was no other running backs taken to the top 5 since
So
then.
secret time, here's what I just did. I had the year wrong. I thought it was 2021. And so I went back 21, 20 to 6.
You would just screw the last 2 classes.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Nice,
that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So scratch him.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette's not on the board because that would have been my 3. Leonard Fournette would have been my 3 probably.
Well, that makes it much less likely that you're going to get your boy because I liked him too.
My boy. Oh.
Your little boyfriend, Jonathan Taylor.
I have a couple of boys in this, so it's okay.
Okay. God, I see a name that I'm going to have to take, and I don't want to. Wow, that Javonte Williams then would be my next pick.
Really?
I had him right behind Najee Harris. I didn't have I actually had him ahead of him. I just didn't have the gumption to score it that way because I liked him so much.
So Javonte is your?
He would have been my 4. I'm having to do this on the fly now because I'm
your
realizing.
2? As you're taking in this
yes,
exercise.
He's my second choice.
Okay, all right.
That's a weird way of asking me that.
Okay.
I'm having to audible on the fly because I'm just realizing that half of my list was years that I can't take from because I'm an idiot and I can't do math. And it helps when you apparently completely forget what year it is.
Mm-hmm.
Javonte was a guy that coming out I thought he could do more than what Najee could. It was just he killed the draft process. He did everything right. Took the 800-mile trek back to Alabama to be there for the pro day, even though he wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with Najee as a person, and that bumped him just slightly above Javonte. But I thought then, and I think now, he is an elite running back in the league. Now I'm debating whether I should be honest or if I'm going to get a call to homer if I am honest.
Are you going Breece Hall?
That's numerically that's the next name on my list.
Really?
Yes.
I remember you being drunk in love with him, but I didn't realize that
when the Jets traded up to get Breece Hall, I was the happiest person on the planet Earth, and I knew it was coming too. I can't tell you exactly how I knew this, but when we took the break that night, so we do the draft every year, we do every pick live, and when we took the break after day one, I had a text from, we'll put it this way and say it's somebody that would know, that said, we're making a move tomorrow, and there's a player we're targeting, and it's probably not one you're thinking of. And so I sent 2 names back, and one of them was Breece Hall, and I just got a smiling emoji. And so when that trade happened, I knew it was one of 2 guys, and I was elated that it was Breece Hall.
Yeah, Breece Hall taken with the 4th pick in the 2nd round this past season by the New York Jets. It worked out really well until he got hurt.
Oh, and it will work out really well again. By the way, if you follow players on Twitter, Breece Hall just tagged Michael Carter and said, "We good over here," in response to that Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott, nice.
Which, by the way, makes me like Breece Hall more than it did, which is hard to do.
As you should. All right, so Javonte Williams and Breece Hall. Your next choices here. All right, that gives me 2 back-to-back. And
there were 2 more that were close.
Okay.
For me, that you have the chance at.
Jonathan Taylor is the next one.
I mean, and that one makes sense. It makes more sense for you because you were drunker on him than I was.
I was head over heels in love with Jonathan Taylor.
I will never forget when we were still doing shows on Saturday at this point. And I think Tank went on for 3 solid hours about how Jonathan Taylor was going to be the next great Hall of Fame running back in the NFL. And I tried to throw cold water on that as many ways as I could. He's a really good player. By the way, he was one of the 2. He's a really good player. I had some reservations about him. Not that he didn't deserve to be taken where he was. I had him as the number 1 running back in that class. But I had another one really, really close to him. That if you're looking at that year, it's not hard for you to figure out who that was.
We'll see where I'm going to go with my next pick here when we come back from the break. It is the Sportsocracy midst of the daily draft. The last 6 classes, how would we draft all of the running backs based on their prospects entering the league? Again, not looking back at what they've already done in the NFL. This is just as a prospect, how should they have been taken? We'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 26 eastbound stop and go between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road. Heavy delays. Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. During Staples Teacher Palooza, teachers save big, or you save, like 20% on all Crayola products, plus 80-count Lysol disinfecting wipes, or only $1.99. In-store only, offer ends $3.25 while supplies last. Help your favorite teacher stock their classroom at Staples.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy.
Don't let allergies keep you down. Call the Cleaning Pros. Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning to remove the dust from your home. Right now, when you mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get $30 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR30 when scheduling online at zeroresasheville.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sport. The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. We are doing the daily draft every third hour of the program. We do this. Jeremy and I pit our wits against each other to come up with the best class of whatever the topic of the day is. And today it's running back prospects in the NFL draft. From the last 6 classes, this one going back to 2018, got to clarify, just so we're all clear of the rules here.
Yeah, because apparently Jeremy didn't know what year it is.
Jeremy made up the rules, and he's not abiding by them. He talks about me cheating at the daily draft. We are taking the best of the best prospects, the running backs, since the 2018 draft class. Jeremy went number 1. He's got Bijan Robinson. Best running back prospect, he says, since Darren McFadden. So over Saquon Barkley, over Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey and Ezekiel Elliott, all of those guys who he also tried to draft twice.
Hey, it's been a long day.
I followed. I know. I got to give you a little ribbon here. My first 2, Saquon Barkley, who I feel is like the number 1, and Bijan is the 2 for me, but Najee Harris was my 3. I felt like he was the most hyped up of all of the running backs in this little experiment, not named Saquon Barkley. Am I wrong?
Yes, you are.
Who was more hyped coming out of college?
Well, I can't tell you one of them because I
You
still have a pick left.
Him yet.
It was more hype. And maybe I'm biased here because I am in circles with draft people. In large part, a lot of people thought Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Travis Etienne were really close.
We're really close. Okay. Anyway, I got Saquon and Najee. Then he goes back over after the turn to Javonte Williams and Breece Hall. I was a little surprised at the Javonte Williams. I didn't feel like – I love Javonte coming out of Carolina. I was a big fan,
Well, you
obviously.
did that draft with me, so that shouldn't have surprised you nearly as much as it did.
No, it's because you took him over Jonathan Taylor and my next pick.
I didn't love Jonathan Taylor as much as you did.
Javonte Williams, Breece Hall was his next one, who was drafted by his Jets last year as the first running back off the board in the 2022 class. Then I go Jonathan Taylor, who was my 4 in my big board. And then you're going to allow me to get my 5. So the first 4 picks here, I got 4 out of my top 5 is Travis Etienne. I mean, the kid set records at Clemson, and he was to me the best running back in that class.
He was the best running back in that class, but you took Najee Harris.
I mean, behind Najee Harris. You know what I mean? The next best running back in that class, I guess.
Yeah, I liked him, but he was legit 3 for me in that class, and he wasn't nearly as close to Javonte as Javonte was to Najee. For me, there's a guy that you didn't take here, and I had already lathered that I was going to lose him. It's Josh Jacobs. I liked him, I thought, more than most people, and apparently more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
And he has served to be pretty much exactly what I thought he would be. Legit 3-down running back, which you don't get many of. That's why I didn't like Etienne as much, because I didn't see that out of him. I didn't necessarily see it out of Jonathan Taylor either, because he hadn't caught – I think he had 17 catches at Wisconsin. So – and it just turned out that they just didn't do that. It wasn't that he couldn't do it. And so for me, Josh Jacobs was clearly, oddly enough, even with your buildup, was still who I thought you were talking about. And then from that, I didn't expect him to be here. So now I have 2 that had the same grade. I don't know which one to take.
Which one to pick?
It's Kenny Walker.
Okay.
Kenny Walker would have been my next one.
Okay.
He was actually tied for me with Cam Akers. But as I think about it, I think I was more boisterous on Kenny Walker than I was on Cam Akers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had this little fear that it was early in my ESPN times, and I was hyping up a Florida State player, and it'd make me look stupid.
Right. Well, I feel like I started this draft one way, and I can only end it this way. Number 5 is Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders was expected to be everything that Saquon Barkley was.
That's not even kind of
true. And it never panned out. When
he was Saquon light.
When he took over at Penn
State.
Yeah.
Oh,
when he took
but he just never paid that off.
And he never paid that off. But I still thought he was going to be a great running back in the NFL. We haven't seen greatness from him, but just a few times.
He's a good, not great running back.
Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that he's with the Carolina Panthers.
I just hate the deal they gave him.
Paid him too much.
They paid him and David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow that's the only 2 running backs in this entire free agency class that got paid.
Yep.
So I just value the value is not there for me.
I love running backs. Running backs are so much fun because it's in beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Depends on what you're looking for at the NFL level. Whether or not you think these guys are going to be good running backs. There are several names on here that did not get said that I'm shocked. I mean, you drafted 3 guys that weren't even in my top 10 of all of this. Nick Chubb.
But see, that's revisionist history. Nobody viewed him that way.
I did. I did.
You're also super biased because you're a Georgia fan.
I get it.
Nick Chubb was, I'll be honest with you, even him at 35 was viewed as a little bit of a reach because he was also coming off a catastrophic knee injury that had pushed him down. Had he been fully healthy, then maybe he would have been in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
He was still the 4th running back taken in that class and the 2nd one out of his own school.
Mm-hmm.
So he was he was not viewed that way.
Which to me was dumb, but I get it. I knew that when he got to the next level, that power running game of his was going to be phenomenal.
I liked him. It all came down to that knee for me.
J.K. Dobbins was also highly touted.
I thought he was more of a college running back than NFL,
mm-hmm.
and his body has let him down at the NFL level kind of in the way that I thought it would.
Mm-hmm. DeAndre Swift
I didn't like him at all.
I know you hated him.
I had a 4th-round grade on him. I didn't like DeAndre Swift in the least.
I know you hated him. But, again, saw a lot of him, knew there was something special in that kid. I wish he could stay healthier than he is, but that's also one reason that a lot of people were down on him because, frail body size and all that. Yeah, exactly.
Basketball player build.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, the two running backs that I could name that rule after both played for the Detroit Lions.
And I think I'm kind of shocked that you didn't try to shoehorn Jahmyr Gibbs in there somewhere.
I don't see him as a 3-down running back. I just don't. And trust me, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a great weapon in the NFL. I don't see him. If you look at the guys I took, name me the small one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really a thing that I do. If I'm going to take a running back and invest legit draft capital into it, I've never actually had – I get flack for being a member of the Mel Kiper school that you never take a running back in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer not to do that, but if there is a legit 3-down guy, I had no problem with Saquon going in the top 5. I just didn't understand why he went in front of 2 quarterbacks. I didn't really have a problem with Najee in the first round. I didn't love it, but I didn't rail on it. Didn't have any problem with Josh Jacobs. If it's a guy that – because that's basically 2 players in one. Then I can get down with it. What I can't get down with is, okay, we're going to take a running back in the first round, and now I've got to have 2 more on the roster to fulfill this committee because he can't do A and B.
Right.
That's where I run into the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So –
all right, so there you have it. Jeremy goes Bijan Robinson, Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Kenny Walker as his best 5 from the last 6 classes. I got Saquon, Najee, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, and Miles Sanders.
We have one of these to clean up from earlier in the show.
I'm your huckleberry.
Gage Gamblin, one of our resident Philadelphia Eagle fans. Only reason I want Zeke is so he can score 2 one-yard touchdowns on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
That is what he does. And apparently Breece Hall views this the way I do of, we're good in New York. Yeah, just maybe go sign with Cincinnati or Philadelphia. I don't care. Just anybody but the Jets.
And if Ezekiel Elliott can go and win a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, that'll be something that the Dallas Cowboys will never, ever be able to get over. And I think I'm all here for it. This is the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clear tonight, winds will start to diminish with a low dropping to 53. A warming trend will carry over to Friday with sunshine and winds increasing out of the west and southwest. The high should hit 82. The showers will spread in late on Friday night with a low of 59. A windy and wet start to the weekend with showers and thunderstorms, especially early. The high should hit 75. Then wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, plenty of sunshine as the high temperature reaches 73 degrees. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 26 eastbound stop and go between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road. Heavy delays. Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The double steak grilled cheese burrito is now at Taco Bell. 2 servings of grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer inside, plus grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
The
Atlanta Braves are back, and this 2023 team is ready for another epic season.
1-1 pitch. There's a deep drive to left center field. This thing is clear for takeoff. Back-to-back home runs, Ozuna and Riley.
Next Thursday afternoon, it's the 2023 season opener live from Washington, D.C. as the Atlanta Braves open the season against the Nationals. Braves Radio goes on the air at 11:50 Eastern, 10:50 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day, which is...
Don't do crimes!
That's right, don't do crimes. And I found this story, and I can't not bring it to you. So, I mean, as our society continues with this fascination of weird, off-the-wall, extreme crimes, all the crime documentaries and the serial killer profiles and all of that.
I do have a request for people that do those.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do a true crime documentary, and at the end, we still know who did it, maybe tell us that. Before I've gone through 4 episodes and stayed awake until 2 o'clock in the morning for you to go, oopsie poopsie, still don't know who did it.
Still don't know.
You figured it out for yourself. I would not have watched that had you told me that.
See, this is why you Google it first and go, do I want to invest the time?
But then you know, and I don't want to know. That's why I'm interested, because it's a whodunit.
Indeed. This story comes to us from the UK, where in the Westminster Magistrates Court on Wednesday, there were arguments heard in a case that is very, very disturbing. A Norway-born man named Marius Gustafsson, he is 45 years old, and he, along with, I believe I've counted up, at least 7 others, are being charged with crimes, and here are the offenses that Mr. Gustafsson is facing, okay? Wide-ranging conspiracy charges involving up to 29 offenses of extreme body modifications, the removal of body parts, the trade in body parts, and the uploading of videos. He apparently, along with others, ran a website that was called the Eunuch Maker. Jeremy, do you know what a eunuch is?
Not a clue.
Seriously?
Seriously. I've heard that term before, but I don't know what it means.
A eunuch is a man without a phallus, without his member.
That's why that was being protected by God.
So if you were running a Eunuch Maker website, what were you doing?
I don't like where this is headed.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. There is no funny twist to this. This is just an example of there are sick freaking people in this world, and there is no explanation really for horrific crimes and tragedy. From January 1st, 2016 to January 1st of last year, this man is accused of, on 5 different occasions, taking men, doesn't say whether they were willing participants or what.
I don't think there's such a thing as a willing participant in where you're headed with this.
And removing their male organs on video and then selling those videos or selling subscriptions to this eunuch maker website. The shocking part to me is how much they were able to make on this website. £200,000. People paid to watch at least 5 men become less of men for their own sick pleasure. This is disgusting. And I hope they bury this dude under the jail.
People are weird, and they spend their money in weird ways.
Good night.
My story is a little bit more lighthearted than yours. Comes from Florida, and this happened at the end of last week. A Florida man was arrested on Friday after a bit of a domestic disturbance in a pizza shop. Or not in a pizza shop. That comes later in the story.
Okay.
Deputies responded to a residence after receiving a 911 hang-up call for a possible domestic disturbance. They went in and spoke to 39-year-old Ortilio Lazaro Alfonso, who told them he had had an argument with the female victim, but that he had not physically touched her. So the deputies move on to the female in the house, who is not named in the story, and they notice something very strange about her. Pizza sauce was found on the front of the victim's shirt, the collar of her shirt, and on the back of her shirt. She also had, quote, the remnants of pizza in her hair and around her ear. When Mr. Alfonso said that he had never struck the victim, he was not lying. He slapped her in the face with a piece of pizza. How'd you get there? Like, how does that argument go? Apparently, there was a dispute in the house. It does not say if these two people were in a relationship together or anything like that. But there was apparently a disagreement because the defendant said that the female in this story had assaulted the bottom of a child in the house. So here's what I'm hearing. She spanked her kid, he got mad about it, and slapped her with a piece of pizza.
Well,
I don't think that went the way you wanted it to. If you slap me in the face with a piece of pizza, first of all, I'm going to eat it immediately because pizza is awesome.
He is. He will grab it out of your hand and shove it in his face with that little, all that liberal arts confidence.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, if you swing a piece of pizza at me, I will look like Shamu at SeaWorld. Just, I caught it.
Disarmed immediately.
Yeah. Can't hit me with that because I ate it. Your weapon was edible.
Interesting. So she spanks the kid, and he hit her with a piece of pizza.
Now, here's my question. Was it a standard piece of pizza, or was it a cauliflower crust pizza? Because that's a crispier crust.
I don't know that would really matter.
Well, I mean, it's assault either way. The man was arrested, charged with battery, and booked in the Marion County Jail. You did crimes, which you should not have done.
Mm-hmm.
I just cannot figure out for the life of me, like, how does that thought process go?
Well, I mean,
I get it back in olden times, you take off your glove and challenge you to a duel. I don't think anybody's ever done that with a piece of pizza.
No, this is a new one. This is definitely a new one.
I also love that in an AP story, they took literal B-roll pictures of pizza, and that was all that was in the story. So his mugshot, a Little Caesars, a Papa John's, and then just a B-roll of a piece of pepperoni pizza. And at the end of that, I would just want pizza. Lisa Evansell in our YouTube comment said, that's why I keep a bang bang in my purse. And I do love the fact that in this show, that is what we call those, is a bang bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
And by the way, don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. Even if they are edible, delicious, saucy crimes.
All right. So Japan won the World Baseball Classic.
Woo! Let the good times roll.
Had the 1-run win over the U.S. in the final the other night. Everybody. Well, I mean, all of the media outlets, the sports outlets, trying to convince us that this was the greatest World Baseball Classic ever, and it was only fitting that it ended this way with two teammates facing off against each other, with Shohei Ohtani on the mound for Japan and Mike Trout at the plate for the U.S. team. Shohei got the last out. Japan wins. On goes the World Baseball Classic trophy now resides with Japan. I think, again, I don't know. This is one of those things that was thought up, 20 years ago almost now. We've done this 5 times, I think it is. And I haven't watched a single second of any of it because I don't care. I didn't care to watch Olympic baseball, and I said this when the World Baseball Classic came about as an idea, as an answer to the Olympics taking baseball out, was we didn't watch the baseball when it was in the Olympics. What makes you think we're going to watch it when it's not attached to the Olympics?
No, and it was watched. 170 million people. Okay.
Worldwide.
Yep. Tell me the domestic number. Tell me the American number.
I'd be shocked if it was 3 million.
I would be too. And that's where I feel like people lose sight of this. Oh, look, baseball's still really popular worldwide. I've never argued that. I've never one time argued that. Soccer is too. It doesn't work here. Doesn't work here. It never has. You can get people in the stadium because it's still an event. So you get the Charlotte Football Club that is close to us here. People will go to that because it's entertaining to watch. Will people watch it on television? No. As long as people don't watch it on television, then it is not a sellable entity.
Mm-hmm. According to a Major League Baseball press release, Tuesday's final was the most watched World Baseball Classic game ever in the United States. With a combined audience, what did you say the worldwide number was?
170, I think.
170, which dwarfed every other baseball game.
Oh, it's a Super Bowl number.
That's ever been.
That's a Super Bowl number.
Right. 5.2 million Americans watched it.
Was that average or total?
It says combined audience.
Yep.
So
that's total. That's total, which means you never probably average more than 3.
Right.
Which is what, anytime I say this, that's what I'm talking about.
If you stopped on it for 10 seconds, it counted.
Yeah. We don't care.
5.2 million.
We do not care.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. I actually conspired a game to make fun of this, and we never even found a way to get it into the show. Because you've told us over the years, you might like baseball, and I don't fault you for liking baseball. I don't. For me, it's like watching paint dry. And it's one of the most comically inept run entities on the planet. And I'm looking at the NBA the exact same way. If you had to say your second favorite sport right now, what would it be?
Ooh.
All right, so the NFL, college football, I'm lumping those into one.
Okay.
I'll let you split anything else you want. College basketball.
It would be college basketball, probably.
And I feel like where baseball falls apart is you don't know who any of the players are. All right, I'll give you an example. When we were kids, there were video games. Ken Griffey Jr. baseball was one of the ones I specifically remember.
Right.
What was the biggest problem with that game?
It didn't have the player names.
There you go. Didn't have the player names. Because
Except for Ken. Yeah.
Except for Ken.
Right.
I actually went in and edited them because that was who Jeremy was at 6 years old. Now, if you did it, would it change anything? All right, let's say a game came out right now, and it just had all of the Major League Baseball insignias, so the logos, the names, things like that. Would you even know if it had the real players' names in it? Outside of Shohei and Trout.
If you spent the money for the video game, yes. You would know. If you paid $70 for a Major League Baseball video game, yeah, you're going to know that the players' names aren't real.
I own 2 of the last 4 baseball games. Because the game's
really?
I do. Because the game's fun to play.
Okay.
The game is fun to play. But I have absolutely no idea who any of these guys are. None. I mean, I see highly rated players in the video game. I have no clue who they are.
Yeah.
Lisa Evansell in the YouTube comments, I can't name any active baseball player.
Not
She also said before I got to America, I had never seen baseball. That leads to now I want to ask no less than 4 more questions. Where did you come from?
Yeah. Where are you from? We'd love to know this.
100%.
So, I mean, I get it. There aren't
baseball sells in very specific parts of the country,
but there aren't major stars like there were when we were kids.
No,
like
and it's getting worse by the year.
Every team had a guy. I don't feel like that's the case anymore. Not only do you have a guy, you had a guy that could sell tickets. You had a guy that you could tune it. Even the Pittsburgh Pirates had Barry Bonds before the steroids and the Popeye days. I mean,
it's funny to me that every sport is falling apart in figuring this out. The NBA is going through the exact same problem. It's hard for you to sell domestically because the vast majority of your best players are not American.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. And we have shown that is an issue. I'm not saying it should be. In terms of watch numbers, it falls off when you don't have the Michael Jordans and guys like that.
It matters. It matters to some viewers.
It matters to that's a good way of saying it. It matters to some.
Like hockey. Lots of people don't get into hockey because
they don't know who any guys are.
Yeah, and you can't pronounce the names, and it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to enjoy every player regardless of where their origin is, but it does matter. It gives you a little feeling of comfort watching these games, and so I think that's a big thing with the NBA as well. You've got Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, and we're used to seeing college guys that we watched in college come up and play in the NBA.
And that's when it worked.
Right. Now we've got all these international guys that we've never heard of, and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And that's the problem. When the college basketball system worked, you got this 1 3-week tournament, which we're in the middle of right now, where you would fall in love with these players because they played for your school, and then they would go into the draft and you would know who they are. DraftKings just put out a top 5 NBA watch list. Do you know how, of the top 5, do you know how many of them ever played in college?
Oh, no.
It's 2 of the 5. Joel Embiid played at Kansas. Jason Tatum played at Duke.
Okay.
They were there for an hour. You didn't get attached to them. Joel Embiid was hurt at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum was at Duke for an hour, and they went nowhere. There's no emotional attachment.
He was amazing, though.
Oh, he was fantastic.
He was one of the greatest Dukies of all time.
That was one of the. I said that year he's the guy I would take at number 1, and there's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the Markelle Fultz year, I think.
I believe so.
And so you just get to this point where I don't have an emotional attachment, and we have shown that if the only emotional attachment is to the name on the front of the jersey, our interest will wane over time. Because in the NFL, we all have our favorite players, we have our favorite teams. College football, same way. Which is why at a random 12 o'clock on a Saturday, I'll watch Michigan and Ohio State. You couldn't get me to watch the Celtics and the Sixers for $50 because I don't care.
Right.
I have no attachment whatsoever.
Unless it's a playoff series. Unless it's a winner-take-all scenario. And then you can get me to watch it. But other than that, I don't care.
And that's where I'm at, is you have to give me something to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And none of these sports are doing that. And this is because we get this. People email us and send messages in through the website and of why do you not talk about other sports? We do. But then, all right, so
when there's interest.
That's where it's headed.
Right.
All right, let's say we had spent an hour today breaking down the final, the Sweet 16 matchups of tonight. How many of those players' names do you even know?
Handful.
I would almost challenge you on a handful. I think you'd struggle to get to more than 5.
Yeah, maybe so.
And see, that's the problem. I mean, I can sit here and tell you about Keontae Johnson until I'm blue in the face. He was in Florida. Trust me. I've been right there in living color. The guy's phenomenal. 95% of you have absolutely no idea who he is. And of the 5 that do, probably 3% of you learned who he was in the last week. So it's hard for us to show up here and doing big blocks of content on guys that you have shown, A, you don't care, and B, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The World Baseball Classic American roster, I didn't know half of those guys played in Major League Baseball. No clue.
Really?
No clue.
Okay. I mean, I can get there are some of them, some of the relievers and guys like that.
I think you would have struggled with half the roster. The coaching staff was more famous than the roster was.
Ken Griffey Jr., because you know that name.
Hey, Ken Griffey Jr. was the most famous person attached to USA Baseball. He hadn't played a game in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So, that's why the sport has died slowly, and it will continue to die slowly, because you worry about things like the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, it sells in places that do absolutely nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it. 170 million people worldwide. 5 million total in the United States.
Yep.
That tells you where this is. This sells wildly everywhere else. We're in Asheville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't sell domestically anymore.
Yeah. However, thanks to inflation, Major League Baseball franchise values are going up still, despite the lack of viewership and ad dollars for Major League Baseball. Saw that earlier today. Forbes now has the New York Yankees at over $7 billion.
We have a story that, before we get out of here, that has broken in the last handful of minutes, and it's come from Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero. It's a memo from the NFL Players Association basically telling all these teams not to negotiate with a man named Ken Francis about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because he's not certified.
No, he's not certified through the NFLPA. And even if you could find a way, this is in there, this is in the memo verbatim, violation of this rule may result in disapproval of any offer sheet or resulting. The or resulting is actually the bigger part of that. Because what that means is if this Ken Francis guy actually brokers a negotiation and gets, say, the Indianapolis Colts to talk to Lamar Jackson, it's all fruit of the forbidden tree. They will literally deny anything you do. And I'm going to say something here, and some people are not going to like what I'm getting ready to say. Lamar Jackson is proving to me every single day why I cannot make you a $250 million quarterback. I'm not asking you to hire an agent. I'm saying play by the rules. And what does he do? He goes and finds somebody that's non-sanctioned by the league, and that's who he'll allow to talk to teams. Why do you do that? Because you think you're smarter, better, yada, 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 than all of the rules in the NFL, and you think there is some collusion against you. There's not. We have rules in place for a reason. Now the NFLPA has said why.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It's time for us to head on out for the day, but enjoy the basketball tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow on a Friday edition here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 eastbound between exit 2 and exit 3 due to an accident. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows near Brevard Road. Again, 26 eastbound slows between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Sardis Road northbound slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Sardis Road northbound at Smoky Park Highway. And accident has the left turn lane blocked. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in Fletcher. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is